And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. And today we are here on the beautiful Gold Coast for this preliminary final. It is the Southport Sharks, the home side, taking on the Aspley Hornets. Mark Kennedy is my name. I'm looking forward to an absolutely cracking affair. Aspley coming off the back of a 22-point win over the Giants last week to earn the right to play in this preliminary final. Joining me in commentary this afternoon is two men. Riley Staraj, welcome to you, Riley.
Thank you, Kanga. Pleasure to be here. Preliminary finals. Legends are made and champions are born. It's going to be a ripper. Of course, these two played in one last year. Southport convincingly won that contest. Got a feeling this afternoon just going to be a bit closer than that game. Yeah,
that's right. And the other man, the encyclopedia of football, everything across NEAFL, is Bob Batty. And Bob, you had the week off through a bit of illness last week, but you're back with a bang, and I think you picked a great day to come in.
Yeah, certainly. Looking forward to this one, Kanga. It only builds up the atmosphere, doesn't it? When you miss a game of footy come finals time, you're really hoping to get back into it straight away, and certainly that's going to be the case today. It's certainly a game that Southport, home ground advantage, always hard to beat down here, but Aspley will throw everything at them. Looking forward to it.
Well, of course, last week, just mentioned the fact that they beat the Giants, did Aspley. Southport have had the week off, and I think that'll be wonderful in terms of freshening them up. Aspley, it was a real bone-crunching, grinding game against the Giants last week, and my concern today for Aspley is that can they bring the same level of intensity that they did last week, and how can they adapt it from the Graham Road Oval, which is smaller, to the big open spaces of Fankhauser? How do you see that playing out, Bob?
Always hard to beat down here, aren't they? And look, the breeze is a little bit different today. Normally it's blowing a gale down to the left of screen, but it's been blowing a little bit across the ground today. So, look, Aspley got to be out of the blocks, don't they? They've got that spirit, they've got that real desire under Daniel Webster this year. So, look, I think they've got to really make an impact right from the start of the game. I think Southport will just be a little bit too strong. Their defence is nearly impregnable. So, certainly John O'Freeman's going to be important for Aspley. But, I think it'll be even early, and Southport maybe draw away in the second half, as you said.
And, of course, Riley, we had laid out. So Southport have made one change from their selected side.
They certainly have. Timothy Bowie, he has come out of the lineup this afternoon for the Sharks. Whilst coming in, Jack O'Shea was very good last week for Broadbeach, one of the only players that could really hold their heads up in that semi-final. He's got a lot of leg speed. He's a very classy user. And I just get the feeling he might add a little bit of extra X-factor for this Sharks lineup. In terms of a tip from me this afternoon, well, my head all week has pretty much said Southport in most situations that win, but in finals you never know. We know how experienced Aspley are. Just got this funny feeling they might be able to get a home grand final.
And Bob, what do you think of this game? Which way is it going to go?
Yeah, I think Southport by 2 or 3 goals in the end, but I think it's going to be pretty tight, especially in the first half.
And I'm with Southport as well. I'm looking forward to this match-up in the middle of the ground. Jono Giles on Andrew Boston. Giles was an absolute pest, and we see him already getting into Andrew Boston. But the Mexican wrestler, El Mucho, he won't take a backward step here. I think we're in for a ripping game, and great to see co-captain for Aspley back on deck as well, James Eyes. We're going to see him involved, but here is the first bounce, and it's Riley Staraj.
So the winner gets the home grand final next week. The loser goes home. Opening bounce. Turner wins it down decisively for the Sharks. It comes straight out to Henderson for the Hornets. Sends it towards the half-forward line. 2-on-2 contest. Taylor almost stuck a boot at it. Manteet's thereabouts coming in very hard. Boki gets it to Turner, to Davis. Davis will send it forward about 30 metres. Fields was initially going to get there, but well done from Allen to chop it off. Batchelor intercepts. And now the Hornets can go from half-back to half-forward. Good mark from Nellis right on the wing.
And James Nellis, very good hit up half forward, of course. Nobody manning the mark there, so he goes long. Inside forward 50 contest. Freeman couldn't get there. Getting back there is Taylor. Just gets the ball off. Chain of handballs. Ends up with the dependable defender in Reece Clark. He goes out to the wing. Johnson was there. Mutu at ground level. Back to Johnson. And he kicks it long. 1-on-1 inside forward 50. And that's a lovely mark by Josh Hall against Gavin Gross, and that's not easy to do, Bob Batty.
No, it's certainly not easy to do. There's not many better defenders in the NEAFL than Gavin Gross. He's been a a stout defender for Aspley for many years. But that's a good mark. Very smart play by Mitch Johnson on that wing. Didn't try and attempt to mark, just tapped it down to Mutu. And bang, Hall's got a big chance here.
Well, the former high jumper, the former NRL player, the former Gold Coast Sun comes in right from 50 for the first goal of the game, and it's there. A wonderful kick. We'll see the dust cloud around the atmosphere here at Fankhauser Reserve, but it mattered not because Josh Hall has put the first one on the balls. We see the replay, and he lines up wonderfully, Bob.
Yeah, he certainly did. He is. He can be hot and cold in front of goal, Josh Hall. You'd back him from probably the 50 more often than not because he can thump the footy. As he gets in a bit closer, he gets the sort of little shakes a little bit. But that was a real good confidence booster for Josh Hall and for the Southport Footy Club.
It's just what they wanted, Riley. It's a good start for them. And we're talking off air before the game. Both defences are very solid for teams. So it's whichever forward line and midfield are going to stand up or really stamp their authority on this.
Certainly will. Great start for the Sharks. So back in the middle. Spencer wins it down, coming in Templeton. He just had a half a fumble. It's fed out to Payne. His hand pass was almost intercepted by Boston, but gets it back over the top. Henderson, 75 metres out in towards Freeman, one-on-one. Oh, great work from Clark. That was absolutely outstanding. He's giving up some size against Jono Freeman this afternoon, and he did it very well there, last line of defence for the Sharks.
Reece Clark, I think I called him dependable in that last passage of play, and he proved it right there. Goes out wide. Matt Shaw takes a good mark in front of Jordan Hayden. Side half back, the Sharks. Little chipping ball. Just goes out there and just maintaining possession. Dylan Mutu. Just not sure where to go, so decides to go backwards now. He's got Clark a little bit further afield, but instead he just turns. And the kick didn't hit the target, so the pressure's on there. Mutu gets it back. Boki just runs away from Blake Nellis, but handballed it straight to Matt Payne. And they can load up Aspley inside forward 50. Stackelberg is met solidly by Seb Tape and Fife, and they will mop it up there, the Sharks.
Great scrambling note from the Sharks, but well done from Spencer, the spoiler down to play. There's a couple of entries there from Aspley where he just didn't favour the forward leading at the football. That's something they're going to want to clean up this afternoon, but at least they're getting some territory early. It's back at the contest. Rux will contest it. Turner probably just wins it just. Spencer, though, thumped it straight to Boston, who sends it up the air. 2-on-1 contest in favour of the Hornets. Dawson coming across. Couldn't quite take the mark. Goes towards the boundary line. Kept in the field of play here by the Hornets very nicely. Batchelor is content to see it out of play, and we'll have a throw in. Half forward here for the Sharks.
And Bob Liam Dawson, important role to play here. Intercept marks are plenty last week, and he's going to have to do more of that again this afternoon.
Yeah, had a great year, hasn't he, for Aspley? He'd be obviously disappointed to drop off the Lions list, but he's been a very good recruit for him this year.
Ball just dropped at the feet. On there by Mutu. Wrapped up by Giles. Plenty of push me, shove you around the contest I think we're going to see today. Both sides will psychologically want to get in the head of their opposition. Fife coming through. The Tasmanian is wrapped up by Matthew Payne. And just in the background there of your shot, you might see Andrew Boston getting up a little bit gingerly, but he'll be back into it. Turner does well against Spencer. Play on. Plenty of players around the contest, and Hayden's there along with Fife, and we'll go again.
So basically the fourth stoppage in virtually the same spot. Spencer wins it down. Boston couldn't quite work it away. Well done from Giles. He fed it out. And now the kick towards half forward here for Aspley. Oh, great mark from Taylor. So at least very early, Southport's defence is holding strong. Taylor doesn't have too much ahead of him in terms of movement, so he's going to head long. Fields is the leading target. Flies, goes over the back. Dawson keeps in the field to play, goes inboard. Good kick and finds Hayden. Now Hayden half back. Every player is pretty much on that side of the ground, so the switch doesn't look on at this stage. He's just going to have to send it up the line to the one-on-one contest. Goes over the back. Tape will be there first for the Sharks. Will probably be content to escort it to the boundary. They do well to keep it in there. Southport, but the big man in Spencer comes in hard. He's met solidly, and now it's going to come out eventually here for Southport towards half forward. Dawson's got eyes on this. Takes a mark just inside the boundary.
Already a couple of intercept marks there for Dawson.
Yeah, a lot of footy's going to be on that far side of the ground, I think. Well, he's gone inboard here, could turn it over.
Yeah, he did, and Turner and comes back around. They almost turned it over. In fact, they did. Mentha was tackled, didn't dispose of it properly, so Aspley will come away. It looked a little bit dangerous for the Hornets, but Daniel Henderson saved the day. A true centre-half back. He'll go up the middle, up the corridor, and that's a good kick. Finds the Stackelberg that is Connor, inside forward 50. Freeman couldn't take it, but has plenty of time, rolls it in, and just rolls it to the near side. Probably had time to straighten up there and do something a little bit more damaging for the scoreboard at least.
Definitely so. I think probably the pressure that Clark had been putting on him in the previous encounters maybe put him under pressure, or didn't think he had as much time as what he actually had.
Speaking of Clark, kicks it out, but it's turnover immediately here for the Hornets. It finds Dawson. Now 65 metres out, will set it right back from whence it came. Huge pack of players. Freeman flies from the back, no mark taken. Murphy tried to go up thereabouts. It was almost a hand pass to Freeman. Didn't quite reach him, but he lays the tackle. And Aspley got a chance about 30 metres out. That miss from Jono Freeman. He wanted to come back to Hornet. They've got to take those half chances today, Aspley, especially away from home. Neither ruckman got it with that time. Bottom of the pack. Templeton, he's a left footer. It's gone out on the full. So he couldn't quite get the angle. They're getting it forward here a bit, the Hornets, but just the efficiency inside 50 just looks to be a little bit lacking at the moment.
Yeah, that it is. Manteet just brings it back in, goes to Jordan Taylor to Tape, and now they're away. Miller on the far side. Goes out towards, he was looking for Shaw, couldn't find him. And Cody Stackelberg, he'll go at it there. Freeman. There's the second game player in Aspley, and he's wrapped up. Liked a couple of things that he did last week. He's got some ability, Bob, I think, young Taj Aspley.
Yeah, no, he certainly has. It's a Moreton Bay youngster who's been through Sandgate and now finding his mark at Aspley, Lions Academy player.
Ball going nowhere quickly, although just squeezing it out was Hayden. Freeman does well. Starting to get his hands on the ball. Murphy, a little bit of time to think about it. Kick partially smothered, so play on's the call. High tackle, though, on Seb Tape, and he'll win that for the Sharks. Deep in defence and goes back to Kwabi Boki.
Boki. Last line of defence for Southport will go wide. It's a good kick as well. We'll find Shaw. Southport just content to control the football. That's a good kick up the line. We'll find Trent Stubbs. It's been a very good inclusion this year for Southport. He did kick 5 against the Hornets here in round 9. Sends it up the line about 45 metres. Well, Johnson, he was pretty much last man at the back, and it fell to him fortuitously enough, and he can look to go. He hand passes it wide. Fields, who's a booming left foot kick, and he's on show there. One-on-one contest. O'Shea, the inclusion, couldn't quite get there. Murphy's content to see it over the boundary. We'll have a throw in 30 metres out from the Sharks attacking goal. Score 1 straight to 1 behind in favour of Southport.
Yeah, good to see James Eyes back for Aspley. He's been missing for a while with injury, and he's one of their co-captains and a very important player for them. I like their matchups. I like Templeton on Davis. I like Giles on Boston and Hayden on Shaw. They're key defensive negating players.
Well, word out of the Aspley camp was that they were pretty happy with their game plan coming into this, and they thought they had a formula that would really work for them today on the bigger ground. See the ball just spilt over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. The other big matchup for me is Jake Spencer versus Jed Turner. That's going to be pivotal because Spencer just has the amount of hit-outs for fun, but Turner gets this one out, gets it back to Boston with the check side off the right, down deep. O'Shea was there at ground level. They're just happy to tie it up there. And there will be a ball up deep inside Aspley's forward 50. This is where they're a bit dangerous, Southport.
They certainly are. They've got a lot of those small to medium forwards that can really capitalise. Spencer wins the tap down. Dale couldn't quite get it. Templeton just keeps in the field of play, and then he's scored it out. And we'll have another throw in. 35 metres out, so Southport, they'd love to get another one here and just put the seed of doubt in the Hornets' mind. Of course, it's only early going, but They did play here last year. The Sharks won it decisively. Turner won it down. Aspley looked like they'll clear it away. Payne does beautifully to Aspley that we mentioned. He was all pretty good last week. Sends it forward. Now it is to space. Miller should get there first for the Sharks, but it's a 2-on-2 race. He does well to keep his composure. Sends a kick more for territory than anything else. Gained about 20 metres. But Aspley, at least they've got it back on the wing.
Well, Tom Templeton there, he's been getting a fair bit of the ball. He was very good last week, Bob, and the last couple of years he's been up at Noosa, had some losing grand finals opportunity to get involved here.
Yeah, Warrnambool boy that's been up in Noosa, and he's had a fantastic year for Aspley. He's been one of their key recruits.
Very much on the fringe at the start of the season and worked his way in to be an integral part of their midfield. Spencer just guides it down. Lee Dale's there, gets a quick kick out of the pack, just forward to centre, just bursting through was Batchelor, just puts it back to half forward for the Hornets, and it was Taylor that just mopped it up and comes to the commentary side of the ground, and Matt Shaw, a little bit of space to move and some options.
Shaw sends it down the line about 35 metres. There's a beautiful kick to find Dylan Mutu. They're just content here at the moment. Southport to hold up. Now he goes to Murdoch, who is a good left foot kick inside the forward 50. Good positioning from Hall. Couldn't take the mark at the back of the pack. Allen tackled by Hall. They're under pressure. Hayden, he fell over it. He's actually legged, it looks like. He's going to get the free kick. So Jordan Hayden. So at least early, it looks like both defences are on top. We probably expected that coming in today. Two of the best defences in the league. Craven sends it towards the wing. Now Arnold has a lot of space here for Aspley, and if he can get it, Freeman's got 50 metres of room, sends it forward. Now this is all on Jono Freeman, turns around. He'll saunter his way in. He's got an option inside, takes the responsibility, 35 metres out across the face, but is that a mark to Stackelberg? I think it is. It has been paid to Connor Stackelberg. It looked like he might have just fumbled that out. But the umpire's given him the benefit of the doubt. You have a shot from the pocket.
What do you think of that, Bob? That looked very close to the line for me.
Yeah, it looked like a double touch, didn't it? But the boundary umpire's right there. He's paid the mark, and obviously this gives Aspley a chance to get there first.
So Stackelberg wheels around, sets it on its way, and didn't get anywhere near enough the angle. In fact, he's kicked it out on the full. So Aspley, they missed some golden opportunities early. That's another one.
Well, he looked tentative then, didn't he, Stackelberg? And never looked likely.
No, not a natural sort of slingshot at goal, was it? It was sort of, it looked as though he had doubts before he even started. But Freeman, that's twice now he's had 40 or 50 metres up his sleeve. They've got to watch that, Reece Clark.
Now Williams has it on the wing. That was a good kick from Murdoch, but that's not a good kick from Josh Williams. He just turned it over. And Liam Dawson, that's already 3 intercept marks, although that coming off the bench with Boakey, he just snavelled it, kicks it to forward 50, and that is a good result as Trent Stubbs takes a mark, and luck's a fortune there. Yeah,
great interchange, wasn't it? You'd, if you're the interchange steward, you'd be patting yourself on the back for that Kwabi Boakey injection into the game. He read the play well, grabbed the mark, and beautiful kick to Stubbs. He should kick this. He's a lovely kick.
So Trent Stubbs, he'll have to kick it from 50 plus, lines it up, it starts to the right, it's coming back and hits the right goal post. So just a minor, it was a lovely kick, but just couldn't quite swing it back far enough. So one straight goal is the margin, 1-1-7. Southport playing Aspley. Just the one solitary behind, nearly 15 minutes gone first quarter. Gross
takes it out of defensive skull square, sends it towards half back. Oh, good front position there from Murdoch. He's about 65 metres out, Brodie Murdoch. He is a raking left foot kick, so he can send it very deep. That's what he does. Now it's time for the Flyers. Look out for Hall from the back. Couldn't take it. Goes over. Johnson is thereabouts for the Hornets. Mason immediately tackled from Johnson, but still gets the hand pass away. Kept in the field of play here for Southport. Sent inside the forward 50. Big fly at the back. No mark taken. Williams tried to get it off the ground. Aspley under pressure. Gross does well to tap it back. Aspley should be able to repel, and they get it to Smith. Smith hand passes up the line. She'll be able to get away.
That they do. Little chipping ball. Dangerous. Looking for Connor Stackelberg, but just couldn't quite find him under the pressure of Jordan Taylor. Ball spills out of bounds. Golden opportunity there for the Sharks. Couldn't quite take advantage.
It's been a missed opportunity from both teams, hasn't it? There's been a lot of entries into the inside 50s, but not much result.
James Nellis, the second ruckman for Spencer. He's going up against Turner. Interesting one. Ball went to ground level, and no surprise, Boston and Giles were right there. Having a little bit of a cuddle at ground level. Reaching over the top, Turner again. Lee Dale's right there, providing the pressure on Daniel Henderson. We'll go for a third stoppage in a row. Sides still feeling each other out a little bit with game style. Ball going nowhere. Nobody inside Aspley's forward 50, or even in the forward centre half forward. Dale. Also Smith going at the ball, rolling over the boundary line, so I'll have a different type of stoppage at least on this occasion. But certainly it's going to be tough and tight all day, Bob.
Yeah, look, 16 and a half minutes in, I reckon Daniel Webster and the coaching staff would be fairly pleased with this situation. If anything, Southport kicking to the scoring end, I believe.
Turner just won it down, but it's going to fall out here for Aspley. Templeton, well, he just fumbled at the inopportune moment, still fed the hand pass up to Giles, but that also missed the target. Williams, Davis inside the forward 50. Stubbs has got to beat two from the back. He almost does, but well done from Gross. Stubbs tried to take the miracle mark, but Gross stayed strong front position. He did it beautifully. And now he'll send it out to Dawson, takes a bounce, sets it towards the wing position. This is really got to hit Craven. It doesn't. Instead it goes to Willis. Well done from Craven. Abley's thereabouts if it bounces to the outside. Both teams will probably be content with the stoppage. Right on the wing position, outer side of the ground.
Both sides just going at it. Warm day here on the Gold Coast too, so we're looking about 26, 27 degrees. Sun out, bit of breeze. Not really going one way or the other. Lee Dale just working hard at ground level. Hayden was right there with him, or in fact it was Templeton. Thought I saw two, but instead there were two twos. Two ducks in bingo language. Giles feeds it out. Payne, or MVP 3. If you don't mind, Matthew Payne just gets the ball forward. Unable to take it was Willis at half-back for the Sharks. Trying to come through. They're just handing the ball around. Willis has got it again. Abiley's the tackler. He took a fresh air swing, and Aspley come away with it. Payne on the unfamiliar left. Up forward. Freeman couldn't take it. Pushed off it by Clark. Jordan Taylor's there. Blake Nellis at ground level, wrapped up by Boakey. That's going nowhere, and the umpire will blow that for holding the ball. Made no clear attempt.
No, he did not, and once again, it was only early, but Reece Clark, he just outbodied John O'Freeman on that occasion. He started the game beautifully. Boakey towards Fields, almost takes the mark. Good spoil there from Arnold. Mason pulled off the football, no free kick. Bottom of the pack, there's about 4 players trying to extract it. Player calls for a stoppage. So, it's a game that's been as much about territory as anything else, but both sides, as we've mentioned a couple of times, have really missed their opportunities. Turner tapped it straight into Nellis's hand, so it goes to Boston. He's dived on it. Giles tackle him. It's kept in the field of play. Well done from Templeton, but then he's dropped it. Gets a handball. Tries to find Mentha. Now it goes to Davis, who just gets it out of the area, and it's open if it can get over the back. O'Shea is quick. Dawson does well to at least make it a little bit of a struggle. Gross dives over it. Well done from Southport to scramble. They've done this really nicely. Batchelor, he's a big body midfielder, got it away. Finds Hayden. His hand pass was poor. Fife finds Williams. Williams goes back to Mantine, and they're out here, the Sharks. Fife gets to 50, sets it on its way. It's going to the left, and innocently enough from Aspley, it's actually missed. It's just bounced out of the field of play. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket for the Sharks.
Yeah, I think that wind's a bit fluky, isn't it? It seems to be swirling around. As we said in southeast Queensland today, that westerly with the dust coming in, a little bit of smoke from the fires out in the hinterland. They're struggling with this breeze, Kanga.
Yeah, that they are. Thoughts with those who are in danger with some of the fires that have been around southeast Queensland and down around Stanthorpe as well. As Fife comes through, there's a whistle on the play. And it's a push, and it'll go Aspley's way. And it'll go the way of Matthew Payne in amongst the action. As I said, lots of fires, putting lots of people in danger at the moment, and lots of people being evacuated. So Thoughts with those that are affected? Matthew Payne is going wide. Jake Spencer just stood there. It was touched on the way through to him, so umpire calls play on. He just puts it on the boot, and it is another one of the reliable defenders in Brodie Murdoch, the former Port Melbourne and St Kilda player. Just getting the ball forward. True wing. Manteet takes it forward. The former Sydney Uni player, and that was ambitious from, in fact, it was a push in the marking contest. I thought he went up early, did Fields, but it was actually a push, and he just loads up with the left foot. Dangerous spot. Gross has just got the sit on that. Couldn't quite take it, though, and ball spills harmlessly over the boundary line.
Need the breathing apparatus here today with the dust, but Gavin Gross needed it there. He was up pretty high.
Certainly was. Just couldn't quite handle it in the end. Hall tried to get front position. Spencer tries to tap it away. 5 immediately tackled. Rolls around in a circle. Craven immediately tied up also. 5. Hand passes it back. Finds Shaw 45 metres out. Snaps it towards the goal square. Gross gets the spoil. Aspley do well to rush it through for a point. 7 points the margin. 1-2-8 to 1 behind. 22 minutes gone. First quarter. It's as tight as you'd expect a preliminary final to be. Southport have just had a little bit of the better at the moment.
Gross goes long with that left foot out of side. Hall was there. Coming through there was Murdoch on his familiar left. Just puts it back from whence it came. Gross went early and just judged it nicely in the finish. And does with that experience that Gavin Gross brings. He was on Port Adelaide's list. Didn't quite manage an AFL game, but brings a lot of wealth of experience there as Liam Dawson, another one with plenty of experience. Jordan Taylor just couldn't bring it down, which allows Matty Payne at ground level. On that left foot, not his best effort there, gets the Seb Tape. He's got a better left foot and finds his target at half forward, being Dylan Mutu.
Mutu sends it long. Again, Aspley have eyes on this, and Gavin Gross will spoil it towards the boundary. You'd almost have to say he's been Aspley's best in this first quarter. He's been outstanding at half back and last line of defence.
Well, it's those defence, both defences just holding strong, Bob.
Oh, yeah, Gavin Gross, Liam Dawson and also Jackson Allen are right on top down there. They just don't look like they're kicking it too high, I think, to their forwards. Southport, they've got to go lower their eyes.
So back at the contest, Aspley tried to extract it. It's still bouncing around. Hayden lays the tackle on Mentha. That doesn't look like it'll be coming out. We'll have a stoppage 25 metres out. So, as we've mentioned a number of times, a lot of territory for both teams, but just no scoreboard pressure at all yet. Just lacking a bit of polish.
Hall and Spencer, give that one to Spencer. Ives goes around on the left and didn't really have a look and only got it to Ryan Davis. I remember last year's grand final at this ground, he was on the run, admittedly, coming through just about that spot and kicked a big goal. This time he just lobs it long. That's gone, though. The journey across the face. That was a big, big roost. I think in the effects, Mike, you just heard the timing of his foot.
Yeah, look, I reckon it's a 2 or 3 goal breeze down there, Kanga. So certainly Aspley will be very, very happy to be even just the 7 points down as we've ticked into 25 minutes into this first quarter.
Gavin Gross almost returns the favour, but it's just spoiled out of play. This breeze we were sort of talking about before the game and trying to decide which way it was going. Looks like there's a lot of swirl, but for the moment, just probably favouring the right of your screen. So, as Bob mentioned, Aspley will probably be happy to keep it within this margin. Hall gets it over the back. Trying to get its Ives. He couldn't get it out, neither could Giles. Ives goes again, did it beautifully. Spencer, hands and knees. Hall extracts a kick towards the forward line. They're under pressure here, the Hornets. It falls out. Ford sets it on its way. It's to the left. So, a bit of inaccuracy early here for the Sharks. 139 to Aspley. 1 behind. 25 and a half gone. Opening quarter.
Well, Liam Dawson there just wasn't sure what to do with it and dropped it and gave Southport the opportunity. So, again, just a little bit of pressure in that forward half for Southport. Henderson, little short ball, finds Arnold. Arnold finds Dawson. So still at half back. He's had 6 marks now, Dawson, in his first half. That's a lovely kick, finds Giles. Off to Blake Nellis. Just puts it in the path of Connor Stackelberg. He'll just wheel around. Just centres the ball. Aspley was right there. Murdoch was right there with him. Bokai, he's there to help out. And just takes the ball to the outer side. And that's a good kick, finds Matt Shaw. Just outside defensive 50.
So Shaw towards the wing position now. He's got Studs streaming on a lead. He got 5 metres on Gross, but the bounce was cruel for him. Goes out of play, but it just seemed like again there, Aspley, just that last kick inside forward 50, just missing the target. Something they're going to want to clean up as this one goes along, but they're in the game. And that was an exciting slingshot from half back as Hall and Spencer will resume hostilities. Neither ruckman got to at that time. Good tackle, played in the middle of all that. And we'll have a ball up. Right on the wing position, late stages of this opening quarter of the preliminary final.
So Hall got that one down. Spencer at ground level, just a bit of tunnel ball. Ends up with Henderson. Gets it through. Smith. Not really the most textbook way, but got it off to Henderson eventually. And little ball, that's holding the man. And Connor Stackelberg will be the man. And this is where I actually like to back him, because when he deliberately sets up for goal, he's actually a pretty good kick, Bob.
Yeah, look, he's kicked, 33 goals for the season, I think it is. So it's a great breakout season for Connor Stackelberg. And look, they're doing okay, Aspley. Like that, it's certainly been an arm wrestle, as Riley mentioned. It's a territory sort of battle at the moment, but I just like the way they're going about it.
Connor Stackelberg comes in. He'll have to kick it from about 43 metres. Aims at the goals. It's just fading off to the right. So a minor score. And as we're approaching quarter time, that would have been very, very handy, you have to suggest, Bob.
Yeah, look, definitely. I still think it's 2 or 3 goal breeze Southport have had this quarter. So Aspley won't be too disappointed. Just 8 points behind or 7 behind.
So Willis will set it right in front of the broadcast position. Smith flies, couldn't take the mark. Well done to get the spoil down. Craven sets it up the line, and that's gone out of play. We'll have a throw-in right in front of the Aspley coaching staff and bench. I reckon you're right, Bob. We've certainly seen kicks across the right of screen get that bit more distance. I feel like the Hornets, they'd love to get one before quarter time. They're really going with something tangible. Turner bounced off his knee. Bolch couldn't get it. Willis does. He breaks 2 tackles, goes to Davis. Davis towards half forward. Now Johnson's in a one-on-one, not advantage from the kick. Goes over the back. Gross couldn't get there. Stubbs is immediately tied up as it's quarter time. It's been physical. It's been tight. But Southport at the end of the first quarter find themselves 7 points in front. 139 to 2 behind.
Fair to say, Bob Batty, whilst it was a bit tight around the contest, it probably wasn't the most polished performance by either forward line there, and their forward entries probably weren't quite what they wanted to be from either side, but both defences by the same token were pretty much on top. Yeah,
both defences very, very good. Southport's defence I'll mention first. Clark was very good on Freeman. Taylor's been excellent. Murdoch has been very good across half-back. And Kwabi Bokai has been eye-catching too, back in defence. And Ryan Davis has been probably their best sort of midfield winner at this stage. The others have been pretty quiet, their other midfielders. For Aspley, Dawson, certainly Gross. Henderson's been quite good. I like the work of Jackson Allen. And certainly Spencer in the ruck. Looks as though he's going to have a real good battle with Jed Turner. But look, Aspley will be, I think, even though they haven't kicked a goal, I reckon they'll be fairly happy with their first quarter.
Well, 7 points is the margin. Just some quick player stats before we go to and have a break and watch the two sides get their messages. Matt Shaw for Southport. He's had 7 to first quarter disposals. Kwabi Bokai, Bob just mentioned, has had 5, as has Miller, Taylor and Mutu. While for the Hornets, Liam Dawson, 6 marks for his 7 disposals, 1 inside 50 and 2 rebound 50s. Daniel Henderson, he's had 7 also, including a clearance and a couple of inside 50s. And then we're down to Connor Stackelberg and Matty Payne, MVP 3 with 6 apiece. So we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll come back. We'll gather our thoughts a little bit more on what happened in that first quarter and what we think is going to unfold for the rest of this game. But thanks for joining us on NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. It's the preliminary final if you don't mind. The first one of two, the winner to go through the grand final and the loser to say goodnight to their season. It is Southport leading by 7 points. Welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve here on the Gold Coast. Preliminary final number one here in NEAFL 2019. Southport, the home side, lead Aspley by 7 points. It's been a real arm wrestle in that first quarter. And Mark Kennedy's my name, joined by Riley Staraj and Bob Batty. And Bob, it's are we going to see the second quarter break open, considering we've only had one goal scored in that first quarter?
Look, I don't think so. I think it's just that's Aspley's focus today, is to really make it an arm wrestle, to really work hard, do the 1%ers, and really lock down against this Southport team. So I'd expect pretty much the same in this second quarter.
Aspley probably kicking with a slight advantage here, probably worth maybe a goal, maybe two, as Riley Staraj gets us underway for the second quarter.
Turner wins it down that time. Spencer just overrun it. Coming in Boston, immediately tackled, falls to the back. Payne gets a hand pass to Templeton. Gets immediately challenged there from Davis. And could almost be pinned, and it's not called. It would have been a bit harsh in some people's minds.
Had a couple of goes at it for mine. Templeton.
Spencer Templeton, the man we just mentioned, gets tackled once again. So at least very early stage of second quarter, a lot of the similar vein of this second quarter, a lot of a similar vein, a lot of stoppages. Third and about the space of 30 seconds. Turner wins it down. Falls to Alan Ford, couldn't get it, but coming through very nicely there is Davis, sends it inside the forward 50. Hall has got about 10 metres of space on Gross if the bounce favours him. He couldn't quite just get it on the grasp, then he's tackled. Gross does well to time up. And umpire James Strybos says, give it to me.
It was a good kick by Davis there to put it in the direction or to the advantage of Hall, but he just fumbled at the wrong time, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it's the 1 metre rule, isn't it? In preliminary finals and big finals, you just got to take the ball and be clean below your knees.
Turner, despite his best intentions, couldn't get over the top of Spencer. Craven just tackled there by Fife. Kicked the ball inside forward 50 to the Sharks. Of course, Josh Hall kicked the first goal after a minute and a half, and we haven't seen a goal since. We are in the second quarter in these early stages. We'll see if another side can at least add something to it. Turner got the ball down. Fife is trying to come through. Craven's in hot pursuit and just ragdolls him and throws him over the boundary line and says, go back to Tasmania maybe. So couldn't quite throw him that far though.
Did his very best. Fife got up a little ginger that time, but looks okay as the ball comes back into the ground. Spencer, well, he punches that towards the boundary. Hayden is content to see it over once again. We'll have another throw in, virtually same spot. Southport's into the ground. If you've just joined us, we do feel there is a breeze going to the right of screen. Aspley would want to maximise their opportunities in this second quarter heading into half-time.
Ball back into play again. Spencer hits it to the back this time, and that's a high tackle. It'll go against Templeton and go to Fife. So, a little Tasmanian. He'll get up and have a crack, the boy from Lauderdale. Second year, there's not much of him, 161 centimetres. About your height, Bobby, isn't he?
Oh, no, I dwarf him. Kanga, I'm at least 164.
Yep, got him covered easily. And I think you got him covered in the weight section too there, Bob. Not that I'm saying you're a big unit, but 71 kilos I've got him on the scales on my records.
He's an important player for him.
Really had to take a big step up. He shoots for goal on the left foot from 40 metres out. Doesn't make the distance. Oh! The high jumper, the man that jumped a B qualifying mark for the Commonwealth Games. He takes a very nice hanger there and can go back and shoot for goal.
Been the only forward that has looked likely, hasn't he? He's taken 2 good marks now, and can he make it 100% with his shots for goal?
Well, the first mark it was at body to body. He took a big hanger that time, and he kicks goal number 2. They're both goals kicked for Southport. They take a 13-point lead, and as is tradition, you'd come off after you kick a goal, but we'll see the highlight here, and that is a lovely, lovely fly under the conditions there, Bob.
Yeah, good fly. Jake Spencer's looking around saying, Gavin, why didn't you put a little bit more sort of body on him, but didn't give him a jump, but he managed to be able to get around the side of the pack. He sort of leapt sideways at the pack and took it beautifully and finished well. So that'll lift Southport. Little Fife's starting to niggle around at the stoppages there. Lee Dale as well. So look, that'll lift them. Certainly a good goal for Southport into this breeze.
And Jake Spencer not happy about having another hanger taken on. He had a monster taken on him last week, and he got up filthy as we get underway again.
Turner tries to get the clearance off the right foot, gets about 10 metres down, couldn't quite get it away. Payne's got a little bit of space and sends it off the left foot towards half forward. Well done from Tate to push his opponent under it. Stackelberg does beautifully, goes inside, that's a shot at goal. Freeman gets front spot, he gets some time. That was good work from Jono Freeman. Well, he'll have a shot from 15 metres out. That's probably the first time today he's outbodied Reece Clark. Should be able to kick the Hornets first.
Just wondering, Jordan, there's a Turner. We've got Bulch has given away a free kick, I think, so it's going to be a turnover. So not sure we had eyes on that one. We might see if the cameras had a bit of a shot at that to see where it's at, but that's a cardinal sin when you got a shot at goal.
Oh, young Bulch, he's just come he was just coming off the ground. He might be resting for a little while, I reckon, after that. Terrible decision for him to knock Shaw over.
And the ball over the boundary line. And I was just going to say that Jordan Taylor just was caught in two minds in terms of defending to go and lay off his man and get in front of Jono Freeman. But in the end, it mattered not, because Bolch has turned the ball over.
So back in the field of play, Spencer taps it over his head beautifully to Templeton. Just had a fumble. Davis sends it forward 20 metres. Smith gets the spoil to Mason. Mason back to Spencer, back to Smith. Good composure from the Hornets. Now they can open up the ground a little. Batchelor's got Dawson, who's got some space here on Stubbs. Off the left foot towards half forward. Not the greatest of kicks. Stackelberg couldn't take it. Did well on the second hop. Sends it inside the forward 50. 2-on-2 contest. Well done from Boakye. He had the decisive size there on Billy Murphy. Pulled off him and took a beautiful mark, and it's a good kick as well to half-back.
Gee, that was good, although Seb Tape makes it look a little bit more difficult than it should have been. China handballs are under pressure here all of a sudden, Southport, when they shouldn't have been. And the ball we put back inside, forward 50 by Aspley, and Clark just manages to clasp the ball in some very unorthodox positions. He does very well and gets the ball off. That's Murdoch. Gets it down to O'Shea. O'Shea has Dale running for him. Ives in pursuit, and the Aspley are pushing back. They've got numbers here, Southport. Johnson at the back, got over the back of a couple, and Johnson was there and just put those big dukes up. Been doing a fair few beach weights over, and he's looking forward to summer to do a whole stack more, is Mitch Johnson. And that's a bad turnover, resulting in a shot for goal for Southport.
Oh, yeah, Bolch would have to be hanging his head in shame now. The ball's up the other end, and here's Mitch Johnson, a chance to give him a 3-goal lead here, which would be very, very good for the Southport's confidence. But that was a terrible decision there from young Bolch.
So Mitch Johnson comes in at 38 metres, kicks it very high, but importantly kicks it straight. The third one on the board for Southport. And all of a sudden they move out to a 19-point lead. And we thought Aspley were in a good position at quarter time. A little bit of the warning sirens are starting to ring out for Daniel Webster and the Hornets.
Yeah, just ill discipline, wasn't it? The first chance that they had an opportunity to have a real set shot from goal for Jono Freeman, 30 out. Here he is, his confidence would be up if he kicked it, and what happens? The ball's taken off him. It goes up the other end. Ryan Davis, what a beautiful kick out of defence that was to set up play across half forward here. And good reading of the play by Mitch Johnson. He just knows where those goals are.
That's the first for Johnson for the afternoon. It's goal number 38 of the season, back in the middle. Spencer wins it down. Dale leaves the good tackle on Templeton. Oh, sorry, Mason. No, it is Templeton. Stoppage. So Aspley, they really need a goal here just to steady themselves, and they've done a lot of things right, but just ill discipline and lack of execution's hurting them.
I like the way Turner's competing in the ruck here against Spencer. 17 hit-outs to 14. Aspley lead, but importantly, no real big ones to advantage, although in saying that, Spencer gets it down, but Southport kick it out of the ruckus. Able to take it there, but Mentha, he just swoops on it. Little left foot over the top of Hall. They were hoping he could jump that high, but he couldn't. And it was Dylan Smith who mops it up. Ives, and they're away.
They are away. Henderson kicks it down the line. It's a good kick as well to Spencer. The big man on a searching lead on that occasion. Send it 30 metres, well, basically to his opposite in position. It's gone straight to Turner. It's not the greatest kick there from Spencer, and it's just execution that's really hurting the Hornets at the moment. Turner back to Spencer, gets the spoil away. Almost looked like he had eyes on it to mark it, but just couldn't get there in the nick of time.
Almost a bit of the old Forsen backs there, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of end-to-end, wasn't it? You kick it up high for me to take a big hanger, and I'll kick it back to you. But yeah, look, it is a great contest, isn't it? Spencer and Turner, big bodies, both of them.
Just out-bodied was Turner on that occasion. Templeton comes through with a bit of a run and carry. The kick wasn't a good one, and Reece Clark just returns it, tries to at least with a bit of interest, gets it to half forward. Jasper Craven there, unable to take it was Southport as Dawson just gets it off to Cody Stackelberg, and he's wrapped up in no uncertain terms by Ryan Davis. keep it in their half of the ground.
Southport just tightening it up here a little. Dale trying to get it away. It falls to Davis inside the forward 50. Well done there from the Hornets. Good mark taken from Arnold. Now he can come towards the broadcast wing. He's got Aspley long. Instead goes shorter to Gross, who's in a bit of a foot race. Tries to tap it on intelligently. Well done to Craven. Ditto. Back to Gross, who is normally a left footer. Just missed the target there of Aspley. Forced to Mackenzie Willis. So some nice things today. Mackenzie goes short. We'll find Michael Manteet. Manteet doesn't have a lot of movement ahead of him. So it's just going to place the kick about 40, 45 metres down. Oh, a big fight, the backle. No mark taken there from O'Shea, but he is exciting. There is a shark down in the play. It looks like it's Mitch Johnson.
And he has not moved. So I think we're going to have a look at that one, because I think it was a clash clearly in the marking contest. And I'll have a look at this on the replay now. And that is the knee of Jack O'Shea that has come through and just collected Mitch Johnson. And that has got him flush, I think.
It's not a place you want to be hit with, is it, Kanga?
No, although he is up and he is about, so he's going to go off and have a bit of a check for concussion. And initially, he didn't look like he moved, so I reckon he might have had a little bit of shut-eye there. I don't mean that in the most pleasant way, admittedly, but Dr. Alan McKenzie will no doubt have a look at him. Aspley, they'll just take the ball down. Giles just tried to spin away from nobody in the finish and then found the boundary line instead. Too much time to think there, John O'Giles. We talked about that last week in commentary.
Look, all the midfielders, the gun midfielders, they've been well held, haven't they? Manteet, Boston, Williams for Southport, they've all been very quiet. And same with Aspley, their main players have been quiet as well.
Bouncing kick there was inside 50 from Hayden. Nellis wheels onto the left. Now he's got a target long. Murdoch lost position, couldn't take the mark. Murphy's thereabouts. Murdoch gets up eventually, sets the kick well to Williams. He was up against Aspley on that occasion, but his experience showed. Now Williams can go towards the outer side, find Shaw. Shaw will look to move it pretty quickly to a one-on-one contest down the line to Stubbs. Good spoil at the back there from Dawson. He's been magnificent so far today, Liam Dawson. He's saved Aspley on multiple occasions. And the combination of him and Gavin Gross have really kept the Sharks at bay, even though they've got a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, their defence has been excellent. They probably would be 5 or 6 goals now if it wasn't for Dawson, Jackson, Allen and Gross.
Ball's going to go close to the boundary line again. I'll just park the peepers on Mitch Johnson down on the boundary line there, guys. And Dr. Alan McKenzie had a bit of a chat to him, of course, current president of Southport, long time, and experienced practitioner as well. And Mitch Johnson up on his feet, just having a little bit of a jog. And not sure how that's going to pan out. I might reassess him in a little while as the play goes on. Lee Dale over the top of Luca Mason, the ball going nowhere. We'll have a ball up on that outer wing, which sees Aspley, they're leading, or trailing in fact, by 19 points. Ryan Davis, 9 disposals, while Dawson has 9 for the Hornets.
Mutu tried to extract it, did it very nicely. Almost went to Daly, eventually got it on the second grasp, sends it forward, but straight to Groves, tries to break the tackle, gets it over the top, finds Mason. Got past Mutu, but couldn't get past the boundary. And we'll have another throw in. 75 metres out from the Sharks' attacking goal.
I think the worry is for Aspley, though, we've gone 40 minutes in this game and they're yet to kick a goal. So they've got to find a way to get their forward structure in place to get some movement into there.
Ball wins it down, kick inside the forward 50. Gross comes across, almost gets the spoil. O'Shea couldn't quite extract it. Well done from Aspley. Hayden, Mason, Giles, under pressure, stepped inside beautifully, then sends it down the line with a hacking sort of a kick. Taylor couldn't quite get there on the last grasp. Murphy, first time we've really called him this afternoon. He has an option free in the middle in Bolch. Instead he goes further inboard on the hand pass. It's almost there, taken away from Hayden. Kick inside 50, not the greatest. Henderson. Well, whenever you're going against Brodie Murdoch and you're out of position, it's very rare you're going to win the contest. Great work from Brodie Murdoch.
Oh, he's been fantastic today, hasn't he? Brodie Murdoch and Ryan Davis really put their hand up here for Southport. They've been dominant in the second quarter.
And the kick doesn't find Seb Tate though, so Bolch gets it off to Hayden. Hayden, he squares the ball up, has a target there. Ball at ground level, running onto it, his eyes, but he's under pressure. Reece Clark was right there to lay the tackle. Boston just clears the area mid-air. Gross took a fresh area at it. Mutu handballed it into the head of his teammate Fields, and the ball tied up in the middle of the ground. So nothing wrong with Aspley's game plan of keeping the score tight, but they've got to kick goals themselves.
Yeah, exactly right.
Certainly do. Turner just got it. Hayden's tied up very nicely. Getting up is Dylan Fife. Do it all again, virtually in the same spot. Turner, well, he went high on Spencer. He's going to get the free kick here, Jake Spencer. And he's going to send it long inside the forward 50. There's some space at the back. No mark taken. Murphy almost works his way. Then he got caught high, but no free kick. And I think he's going to be pinged for holding the ball here. He is, and I don't think the Aspley bench is too happy about that one. Interesting to see that one on reflection later, but nonetheless, Mackenzie Willis, who laid the tackles, got the free kick in his defensive 50.
Willis goes out towards the tall timber of Turner. Just got the one hand up there. He was happy to take it over the boundary line. There's Johnson, a couple of runs up and down the ground, up and down the sideline, I should say. Just trying to, I suppose, as much as anything, showing people he's right to go. Spencer and Turner though. Spencer gets it down. Giles can't quite handle it first time around. Jackson Allen, haven't seen too much of him. Got the kick inside forward 50, but just emerging from defence is Jordan Taylor. Played a pretty useful game so far. Gross attacks the ball and gets it on the second bite. Handballs it to a man under pressure. That man is Matty Payne. And the man just emerging to envelop him was Andrew Boston. You're not escaping the clutches too much from there.
No, they're certainly playing nice and tight, isn't it? There's no space, not much room to move. These midfielders have, on both sides, haven't been given much, and Mitch Johnson, good to see him back on the ground.
Freeman into the ruck on that occasion, couldn't quite get the tap, did hands pass towards him, almost gets past Boston, somehow got a hand pass. Bolch down the line, but straight to Boki. I've really liked the game of Kwabi Boki this afternoon when he's had to get in position. He's done it very nicely. Sends it across. That's a drop mark from Miller. He's under pressure. Connor Stackelberg ties it up, tries to extract, gets out of there. 30 metres out. Snapping is across the face.
I think the sun really got Miller there, didn't it? Yeah, well, Bob,
I thought Stackelberg could have handballed over the top to Murphy. Could have run on open goal then.
Just over the top of Seb Tate. Bolsh couldn't handle it. There by Fields, just ball ends up with Turner there. That was a good piece of play off to half forward. Shaw's the man there. They've got numbers here, Southport, everywhere. Shaw gets back on it, runs inside 50. They just chipped the ball forward. Ryan Davis is there. He's going to run into the easiest of goals he's kicked in a long time. And it's breaking the game open for the Sharks. And all of a sudden, if you don't mind, they get it over the back and they push the margin out to 25 points.
Yeah, Jed Turner, full marks to him then, wasn't it? He really took the game by the scruff of the neck there, and you can see he's really fired up after winning that clearance, kicking the ball long, and it was good work from Matty Shaw, wasn't it? He read the flight of the ball very well. You could see, I think it was Dawson, Liam Dawson was the defender that had the chance to punch the ball and punch it out of bounds, didn't get it, went over the back, and it was shut the gate from there on.
It's Ryan Davis's first goal of the afternoon. He's had the 10 touches, all kicks.
Well, when you kick the ball as well as he does, why wouldn't you kick the ball?
Absolutely. Matt Shaw also has the 10 for the Sharks. He's got 8 kicks, 2 handballs, and he's a beautiful user of the footy. Aspley must get the next goal. Back in the middle. Rucks go at it. Turner won it down, but straight into Spencer's hand. Payne trying to exert an influence on this game. Couldn't get it. Dale immediately tackled. Got somehow a kick towards the wing. Payne got the hand pass there from Hayden. Sends it forward about 30 metres over Templeton's head. Cody Stackelberg couldn't get it either. Willis was taken high. He's going to get the free kick here. Kenzie Willis.
And I think that was a bit of frustration from Connor Stackelberg. That was, I think his intent wasn't quite where it needed to be. So Little short kick, finds Shaw. Quick hands off to Mackenzie Willis, kicks it long with the full leg. Just sliced it a little bit there and out towards the boundary line it goes. Southport won't be too upset with that. 60 metres around from the goal out of sight.
Yeah, they're just, you just don't see where Aspley's getting their goal from or lift from at the moment. Matty Payne got a little bit of the footy, but always seems to be on his left side today. They've corralled him pretty well, Southport.
It's punched forward about 30 metres, pursuing. It's Davis right on the boundary, sets it up towards the square. Johnson at the back, almost took the mark and just had a fumble at an inopportune moment, but it's, we mentioned he came out about 5 minutes ago. Fantastic to see him out there. Of course, if you've just joined us, he was involved in a very heavy collision with Jack O'Shea, who gave him a knee right in the face in a marking contest. But it's fantastic to see him back out there, and Southport will be very pleased with that.
Ball back into play. Neither ruckman could impart themselves on that one. Just emerging with it's Matt Payne again on his left. That's possession number 10 for the afternoon. Very prolific with numbers, no doubt about it. And you got 8 NEAFL Team of the Years, 3 NEAFL MVPs. You're going all right. Out on the outer wing, Seb Tate just chips the ball up, and Matty Payne, he's there. He's on his right side this time. Decides not to go. Just taking his time. He's asked to go now. Lobs it up, looking for a tall target. Murdoch, at ground level is Mantee. Hits it off to Mackenzie Willis. Trying to spin out of one, only gives the ball up. And no advantage there, so it'll come back to that outer wing. And the man emerging with it will be Tom Bolch.
James Nellis is one of the more experienced players that really needs to lift for his team. He's really provided not much at all today in that Aspley forward line, and he, Freeman and Stackelberg need to get on their bike.
Cody Stackelberg, who ended up getting the free, sends it long, but it's gone straight to the Sharks. The mark has been taken from Miller. He's just breaking down forward to centre at the moment here for the Hornets. Miller sends it back towards the wing. Ford would have done well to force it down, which he did. Dale couldn't quite get it. Sharks just tie this up. You just really don't know where Aspley are going to get their scores from at the moment. Only got the 3 behinds, and when they have had their opportunities, they've really let them slip.
None of their forwards have looked dangerous in any great capacity. Jackson Allen right there with Charlie Ford. Ford puts the brakes on. Umpire will come and ball it up. So the margin is 24 points. Payne of the ball. Ryan Davis and Jed Turner are right there. Of course, Payne and Turner played in a premiership together at Aspley, so they'll know each other very well. Good mates too, I believe.
Yeah, and great stalwarts of this competition too, both of them.
Of course, Matthew Payne, 150 games last week, so 151st is right on cue. He gets the ball, a little chipping left-footed, doesn't find the target. Jed Turner, though, had 100 in the last home and away game of the season. Andrew Boston had the ball there. He kicked it long and it just drifted out of bounds on the full. So Aspley, through the agency of Batchelor, will bring the ball back into play.
Just going to have to reassess their game plan, I think, at half-time, Aspley, because they've negated some of their stars, of Southport stars, but they're still 4 goals down, haven't looked like kicking one themselves.
Miller beat Freeman, hand passes it inside the short, sort of looped it up, just missed the target. Tate gets it away. Fife will set it towards half forward. Johnson and Arnold. Arnold did well to get there first, couldn't take the mark. Allen, he's got a couple of metres of space. Back to Smith. Smith, well done from Johnson to get the spoil. Allen under pressure, breaks the tackle beautifully, then finds Arnold. Arnold inside, clever kick. Could have found Jordan Hayden. Now, he did have options on the broadcast wing, didn't go there, instead went to Freeman, who couldn't take the mark. Clark's got his number at the moment, gets away, sets it right back from whence it came, towards half forward. Smith couldn't get there and impact the contest. Tapped over the back from Allen. Hayden did well, fed it back to Arnold, to Smith, Aspley, Giles, tries to get it inboard, dangerous kick, not a good kick, big contest. It's called play on. Willis will set it towards virtually the same spot for the 3rd time in a minute. Johnson at the back, no mark taken. Well done from Dawson. Craven a couple of metres of space, normally a clean user, and Aspley are away.
That they are. Henderson has James Nellis, wants to move the ball quickly, does so, and now Stackelberg and also Freeman are there, but Stackelberg, that's Connor Stackelberg, and race in and get the first one of the game for the Hornets. Plenty of support from the Aspley section of the crowd, and all of a sudden they narrow the margin down to 18 points as we watch this replay, Bob.
Yeah, look, full credit up the other end, I think, to Dylan Smith. He's been a bit unheralded in that back half, but he's stood up twice there under pressure. They got the ball out. It was a lovely kick from James Nellis. Got the breeze. It seemed to go right over the back, but it should have been marked by John O'Freeman. It wasn't, but Stackelberg managed to get the crumbs and finish it off.
Just looks tentative, Freeman, doesn't he, when he's going for the ball, knowing the fact that Reece Clark has had his measure for most of the afternoon, and the ball, luckily the ball spilled the way it did for Connor Stackelberg.
Just got to get in his bike a bit more. Like, you know, he's got the athleticism to really stretch Clark if he moves up and down the ground and leads up and down the ground. That's what he's got to do.
So at least Aspley are on the board, back in the middle. Spencer wins the tap down over Ran. Turner gets it for the Sharks, and like he normally does, just boots it as far as he can forward. O'Shea held from the back, free kick against Smith. So Jack O'Shea, the late inclusion this afternoon. Well, he's called to go around the mark. I think Tommy Field's eyes lit up because he made that distance quite comfortably. So it's actually going to go to Mentha out of that one.
Not sure how that one works.
Nonetheless, Mentha to Murdoch, 55 metres out for the quick reply. It's on its way. It's to the right, but he got the leg very easily. Just had a little bit too much of a curve. 4-4-28. The Sharks to 139. 27 gone, second quarter of this first preliminary final.
Well, that would have been a horrible result for Aspley. Just letting Brodie Murdoch come in and take the big long launch at it. There's Gavin Gross, he likes a long launch as well. Manteet at the front. Spencer and Turner were there at the front, and Manteet just drifted across. He puts it right in a dangerous spot. Just couldn't quite take it. Arnold just got it to work through, and Mitch Johnson off the ground. If you don't mind, that's two for Johnson. He looked like he was going to be out of the game after a very heavy collision earlier, and then he's just come through and just hacked it off the ground, and hacked it truly.
That was magnificent from Mitch Johnson. He's very good at taking those half opportunities, and he did it magnificently there. Second goal for him. And just as Aspley might have felt a little bit of confidence after getting that goal a couple of minutes ago, the Sharks hit right back and get it out to that 4-goal margin. Makes it feel a little bit more uncomfortable as we're in the late stages of this second quarter.
Yeah, looked a real worry for Aspley, as I reckon they've got 6 or 7 players that hardly touch the footy. The Nellis boys, Ives, Murphy, Bolch, Mason, Aberley, hardly got their hand on the footy, and that's a worry when you've nearly at half time in a game like this.
So free kick on play. It'll go the way of Aspley. It's a holding on Matty Payne. So Payne, just not sure where to go at the moment, so he just loads it up long. Inside forward 50. Front spot was Freeman, or in fact he wasn't front, he was probably third if you like. And that's the John O. Freeman that we and Aspley would really like to see a bit more of, Bob.
Yeah, look, that's what he can do, can't he? Like, and he'll probably go back from 45 out here and go bang and kick it 55, 60 right through the middle. He is a confidence player. That'll lift his confidence, but he needs to kick the goal to lift it to another level again.
John O. Freeman, he'll kick it from just inside the 50-metre arc, and he sits it out left. It's coming back, but not enough. So that will be a minor score. And if I get that correct, I think John O. Freeman 2 behinds now, as Southport bring it back in, and there's a good spoil there by Jackson Allen, take it over the boundary line. And allow them to reload and hopefully have another crack at it.
Certainly feel they need one before half-time. Haven't had that many opportunities, but the ones they've had, they've really let slip in pretty relatively easy fashion. And they're still in the game, as back in the contest. Boston gives it up. Davis, being one of the best in this opening half, sends it long. Johnson in a 1-on-2. Niner could get it. Now Stubbs can give it up, and Hall has got daylight and grass. He knees it forward. Arnold trying to pursue. He missed it. Arnold did well to get there. Mutu with a reinforcement. This should be a goal for the Sharks. Stubbs falls over his feet. Johnson, there's a whistle. It's high. It's going the way of the Sharks.
Yeah, it was there for me, and I think we might have a look at this now on the replay coming through. And I said the fumble there wasn't a good one, and then just coming across, he just got him across the head.
Yeah.
Luck's a fortune, wasn't it?
Yeah, Luca Mason, I think it was the tackler. Just needed to go a bit lower, didn't he?
So Trent Stubbs, 18 goals in season 2019. That's number 19. And the Sharks are in front by 5 goals with about 31 minutes gone into this second quarter. 6-4-40 to 1-4-10. Southport just taking their opportunities a bit better at the moment.
Yeah, also more worries for Aspley. Liam Dawson's just limped from the field. Across that half-back line, he's been nearly impassable, so they can't afford to have him missing for much of the game. So they'll hopefully get him back on board and get him back out there quickly, because they really need a late goal in this second quarter to at least lift their spirits.
Well, they're ahead in the head-outs, they're ahead in the clearances. They're level in terms of the possessions, and inside 50s, they're just 4 shy of Southport, but yet they find themselves 30 points behind approaching half-time. The method hasn't quite come off for Aspley, you've got to say. We're underway again. Turner against Freeman in the ruck. There's Boston. Just gets it nicely down to Dale. Dale to half forward. Fields can't quite trap it the first time. Pressure there from Batchelor. Allen and Ives combine. They push it out to Luca Mason. A little bit of space now on this commentary wing. Goes down the line. Connor Stackelberg was the target. Couldn't take it. Blake Nellis is wrapped up very quickly to avoid getting the ball out as far as Southport was concerned by Brodie Murdoch.
So Aspley, very late stages of this second quarter, must get one, you feel, just to go in with something. Payne, tackled by Mutu beautifully. The umpire says, give it to me. Bob, you mentioned before you feel like some of the Hornets have not got involved. Well, there's 2 players with only 1 touch, another 2 with 2 possessions, one of them Billy Murphy, and then another 3 with only 3, so they're just missing at the moment. Williams tackled beautifully by Freeman. It's called play on, tied up bottom of the pack. The umpire says, give it to me.
What you like to see into his game, isn't it, Kanga? Like a little bit of ferocity there from John O'Freeman, a bit of frustration. It's going to probably bring out the best in him, I would have thought.
Yeah, it is. And 2 boys originally from the Sunshine Coast. One from Noosa, one from Maroochydore. Ryan Davis, quick extraction of the footy. And getting back there first was Henderson, just reefs it around the corner, back inside forward 50, and that's a lovely defensive mark there. That's taken by Miller. Goes out wide. Not sure where to go, the Sharks just at the moment. Fields it is, goes up the outer side, over the top of Shaw. Henderson's there again. It's been one of their better performers, at least in the first half for mine. They haven't had as many contributors as we've mentioned there, and I think as we mentioned also, Bob, that I think Daniel Henderson needs to tweak the game plan a little bit because they're being outpointed currently. Yeah,
look, there's no doubt Daniel Webster will, I think, move the magnets around and really try something different, but it's their forward structure at the moment that's just not working one little bit.
Taylor content to see it over the boundary. It's really just breaking down. That gets towards half forward for Aspley. It's just not hitting their targets like they would have hoped to. Of course, if you just joined us in this quarter, 5-1 to 1-2 as it's half time. It was a 7-point lead at quarter time. It's 5 goals at half time, 6-4-40 to 1-4-10. The Hornets have it all to do in the second half after the break as we just run you through the goal kickers at the moment. Firstly for the Sharks, 2 to Josh Hall, including 1 fantastic grab. 2 to Mitch Johnson, we thought was knocked out of the game at one stage, so good comeback from him. Ryan Davis has 1. Trent Stubbs has a goal, whilst for Aspley, it's just Connor Stackelberg.
Well, Bob, there's a lot of things going right for Southport, and we thought that Southport were actually kicking a little bit against the breeze in that quarter, but yet they've come out and kicked 5 goals to 1. And Aspley, fair bit of soul searching to do and fair bit of magnets to be thrown around.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Look, you mentioned prior to the game that you were just worried about the fact that they'd a real pounding game last week against the GWS Giants. Will that take it out of their legs? Well, look, they're not down and out, but they're really looking down the barrel, aren't they, of a bit of a pounding at the moment. They're 5 goals down. Southport have got their home ground here. They're very hard to beat here, and they got their tails up, and it's going to be have to be a magnificent effort from Aspley to get back into this. But look, full marks to Southport in that second quarter. Ryan Davis, Murdoch, I thought were absolutely brilliant, and the bloke in the ruck, to me, he took the honours in that quarter. Jed Turner. They were the three players that really kick-started Southport's efforts in that second quarter.
Well, quickly, some individual stats winners there for Southport at first. Ryan Davis, 13 disposals, 3 marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances, 4 inside 50s and a goal. Not a bad first half of footy, including 3 rebound 50s as well. Matt Shaw's had 11, 6 marks, and also an inside 50 for him. Mackenzie Willis has had 10. Brody Murdoch, he's been excellent down back. He's had 9 disposals. Miller's had 9 as well. Boston, he's had 3 clearances to go with his 8 disposals. Mutu 8. And a bit of a shout out also to the man you mentioned, Jed Turner. 20 hit outs. He's had a couple of clearances to go with it for his 6 disposals. For Aspley, Matthew Payne, 13 disposals, 4 clearances, 2 inside 50s, 2 rebound 50s. Jordan Hayden's had 13 as well for 4 clearances and 4 inside 50s. Dawson's wasn't as influential in the second quarter. He's still got those 6 marks, but 10 disposals for him. And Connor Stackelberg's got 10 as well. And just some team stats there. Hit outs at 25 apiece. So that's a real testament to Jed Turner. We thought that Big Jake Spencer would really take the honours in that category. Clearances 20-17 Aspley's way, inside 50s 24-22 Southport's way, and possessions 150 to 148. So a lot of the numbers are quite even, but Southport very much taking the honours on the scoreboard. And at half-time here at Fankhauser Reserve, it is Southport 6-4-40 leading Aspley 1-4-10. We're going to see in the second half what Aspley can bring to try and bring this deficit back into a gettable target in the second half. And Southport, of course, they'll be looking to put this game to bed in the third quarter. Thanks for joining us here on NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. We'll be back with the second half shortly. And welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve on the Gold Coast. It's half-time of this preliminary final here between Southport and the Aspley Hornets. And at half-time, it's Southport that lead by 30 points. I'm just trying to get through my lunch there, boys, but it was an entertaining first half, and it was a bit of a dour first quarter, but it really lit up in the second quarter if you're an Aspley fan, because the Sharks kicked 5-1. And Bob Batty, as I introduce you for the second half, it was Southport have broken the game open somewhat.
Oh, yeah, far too good in that first half. It was a bit of rope-a-dope from Aspley, wasn't it? They tried to negate them and make it an arm wrestle. It worked for a quarter, but it certainly didn't work in the second quarter. Southport broke the shackles, went forward, looked dangerous. Mitch Johnson a couple, Hall a couple. Game's up for grabs now. They've really thrown caution to the wind. I think Gavin Gross going forward. That's a good move by Daniel Webster. They've got to make some changes, and let's see what they can do in the second half.
Well, they've gone with Gross and Freeman as the targets and basically Smalls everywhere else. And that really exposes them one way, but exposes them the other. And this is the voice of Riley Staraj, who's going to start calling this second half and see who's going to progress through to the grand final next week.
So opening bounce from Strybos. Rucks go at it. Turner wins it down. The first time this second half, hand pass back to Hayden. Finds Craven, sends it forward for the first time for the Hornets. Murphy, will it slip through his hands? Nellis of the Blake variety forward. Stackelberg can take it! And that is just what Daniel Webster would have ordered. This could be the perfect start here for the Hornets. Connor Stackelberg, he's got the only goal of the afternoon for Aspley. 1 goal, 2, and 1 out in the full. This is a chance for his second.
Well, just, again, they're going to try and open the forward line up somewhat, aren't they? Have the tall targets in one respect, and then try and have the runners come, and Connor Stackelberg is one of those men that really gets on his bike.
To give Aspley a massive lift, sets it on its way, and the crowd will tell the story. That's number 2 for Connor Stackelberg. And inside the first 50 seconds, Aspley have their first goal of the second half. They only managed one in the first. 6-4-40, the Sharks lead Aspley 2-4-16.
Well, I mentioned the old rope-a-dope, and for those that have been around the boxing game for a long time, Muhammad Ali used those, I suppose the terminology rope-a-dope, to just stay in the ropes for half a game or half a bout and then come out swinging right near the end. Well, Aspley has certainly come out swinging. Start of the third quarter, they need to get not just one, they need 2 or 3 in a hurry to really get their teeth into this game.
2 goals, 2 for Connor Stackelberg now. He's got the lion's share of the score for Aspley. Just 2 goals, 4 for them. As we get underway again, Spencer and Turner, you'd probably say that squared off. Turner at the ground level, got it off to Fife. Had his handball partially smothered. O'Shea gets it back to Fife, so he'll get another go at it. Gets it to half forward, Mutu. Right there with Craven, ball bouncing. Coming through solidly was Jed Turner, but emerging with the ball was Jasper Craven. Gets it off towards Matty Payne. Just rolls nicely, sits up, gives it off now, back to Craven. So good run, good carry. The ball inside forward 50. The spoil away, gets to ground level, but they come through. Connor, or in fact it was Cody Stackelberg there, got the handball away. Murphy feeds it off, goes to Connor Stackelberg around the corner, and it got there. So that's 2 in 2 minutes for Aspley. And here come the Hornets.
Well, yeah, no, look, full credit to Jasper Craven on that half back line. He got poleaxed by the big fella in just as we look at the snap. That could have been touch maybe, but it wasn't. No. Yeah, it was well done. But look, it was great work. He, the big fella Jed Turner just about smashed into Jasper Craven, but he managed to keep his feet. Ran the ball across to Matty Payne. Matty Payne gave it back to him. As Kamikaze drop punt that came through towards Stackelberg, and they just had numbers at ground level. And that's what they're trying to do, get the ball to the ground and have little blokes like Murphy and that scouting around and creating some buzz.
So Aspley have come out all guns blazing to start this second half. 2 to Connor Stackelberg in the first 2.5 minutes. They'd love to get another one. Back in the middle. Rucks go at it, give the honours to Spencer that time, but it's tapped it straight into Turner. Templeton couldn't quite pick it up off the deck. Going in hard pain, but he's tackled. Umpire says, give it to me. We'll do it all again. course, you mentioned that here. There was fantastic work in that earlier chain from Batchelor to wear it from Turner and eventually get it away. As back at the game, Aspley should be able to try and clear this football. Hand pass further down the line. Finds Ives off the left foot inside the forward 60-metre area. Billy Murphy, like a thief in the night, almost picked it up. Clark, well, he's gone down. It could have been a free kick for leg, not done. Boston hasn't got that many disposals. Clark tries to extract it. Suddenly the Sharks look under a bit of pressure until Davis gets it. All composure, all class. Fife feeds it to Manteet right on the paint. And that almost looked out of bounds. Called play on Johnson in a one-on-one. Good sport, the contest. Payne now. He's got Templeton short. Instead goes further afield. And the Hornets can come. Cody Stackelberg, 75 metres out. Sets it inside the forward 50. Freeman's got position! And Jono Freeman has kicked 2 behinds this afternoon. This is for his first and to bring it back to 2 straight kicks.
Well, the moves have worked, haven't they? They've freed up, it looks like they've freed up the midfield. So Giles has gone off from the probably hard tag he's been doing on Boston, which allowed, I suppose, extra ball getters around the middle, and they've been able to get the ball forward with a lot more ease.
So Freeman, biggest kick of the afternoon, 25 out, sets it on its way, and the umpire doesn't move a muscle. The Hornets are back in it in the first preliminary final. 12 points the margin, 6-4-40 to 4-4-28. 5 minutes gone, third quarter.
Full credit to Daniel Webster and his coaching staff. Mark Seen, I think Steve Walsh, it's another one. Brent Evans. They've really put their heads together and they've thought, well, okay, we're 5 goals down half time. No good trying to negate anymore. Let's just try and attack and let's change the magnets around. They've done that. And you can just see the players are playing with a little bit more passion, a little bit more bubble, enthusiasm, whatever you want to call it, Kanga. They're back in this game.
Well, this is where I think James Ives is very important as well, because he's been out of the side for a number of weeks, but he's got the run. He's got that spring in his step where others have played a hard game last week. Bounce in the middle of Fankhauser again. Over the top was Turner. Now Giles. Got it to Ives. He just couldn't handle it though. Lee Dale just jumps on top of him. Almost high for mine, but umpire says no. And now ball stuck under plenty. A true centre-half forward here for Southport as they look to arrest a little bit of a slump of Aspley have really surged.
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be interesting to see who puts a hand up now for Southport, isn't it, of the experienced players? Your Bostons, Davis and these blokes. See what happens.
Ball just slapped forward. Fife gets it off to Boston quickly, just heaves it down right to the square. And Johnson, in the end, he just had a better run at it than he thought, but just dropped what he should have probably taken. They come away Aspley, that's Dawson. Well done there by Murdoch, just palms Mason off after getting it away from Nellis. Pumps it back inside and Josh Hall's there. Turns around quickly, snaps it goal, and that's 3 for Josh Hall. And he has been a bit of a difference maker for the Sharks. Outbodied Gross in the first occasion, took a very big mark on the second occasion to kick a goal, and then got the ball inside, played on quickly, opened it up as we see on the replay there, thanks to our broadcast partner Bar TV, and kicked truly. Lovely work.
Yeah, good work again. I'm pretty sure it was Brody Murdoch on at that far side. Took a beautiful mark. Then he did that don't argue on Luca Mason and just kept running it towards goal. And a beautiful curly left foot kick towards Josh Hall, and he didn't let him down. So that's the sort of response that if you're a Southport supporter, you want to see that, don't you? Some of their more experienced players putting their hand up and saying, well, hold on, you blokes. You're coming at us. I'm going to hold you off.
So back in the middle. Turner wins it down. Boston pursues it. Just pushed off it from Ives. It's tied up at the bottom of that contest. And umpire says, give it to me. Do it all again. Turner taps it forward. Ives gets there first for the Hornets. Sets it forward about 45 metres towards a one-on-one. No mark taken. Murdoch got the spoil over the top. Well done from Dale. Sets it down the line. Big contest coming up. Well, pretty much beat everybody. Getting there first. Templeton tied up from Mutu beautifully. And Southport have it about 80 metres out from their attacking goal.
That's what they did in the first half, Bob. They tied the ball up well at the right time, Southport, and they were able to find a scoring avenue. And that was Dylan Mutu, lovely spoilers. Spencer got the handball down. Giles just handballed it in front of himself, under pressure admittedly, goes again. Now Boston gets involved, but couldn't take it with him. Murdoch there. He's happy to take it over the line with Blake Nellis right there with him. You've got to see a few supporters having a bit of a wave in the background there. They know that obviously NEAFL TV is covering this game here, and thanks for joining us all around, whether you're at Southport, whether you're around South East Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, Northern Territory, around the country, around the world. Thanks for joining us. We go again. Mutu does it well. Handball's over the top. Shaw just tries to elude one. Little handball is okay, says the umpire. Eventually falls out to Jed Turner on the big booming left foot. Gets it up forward. Dylan Smith is there. Couldn't take it away. But coming out and emerging with it is Mentha. Mentha swings around. Probably had options inside. Hall. He's right there but couldn't take it. Gets the handball out. Fife is there. Turns around. Feeds it back. Fields around the corner to the goal line. Although it bounces awkwardly and Aspley can mop it up, and Bolsh is the man with the run of the footy.
He's got about 5 metres on his opponent. Runs, sets himself off the left foot. Not the greatest of kicks, but still finds Connor Stackelberg. Steps inside. Now it's an open forward line. It's a one-on-one, but the one's Murphy against Taylor. That's where it goes. Taylor front spot. Well done from Murphy from the back. He's got body position. Box Hillbilly, 15 metres out, and gets the Hornets fourth of the quarter. As there's a whistle, and there's a bit of push and shove, and there's players coming in from everywhere.
And I've got to say that I think it's Jordan Taylor, just frustration after he got beaten at the contest.
Nonetheless, we're just waiting for confirmation. It is a goal. Don't know if anything more will come from that. And I think
we'll see a replay here. And I reckon that Billy Murphy is very much 50-50 whether he gave the free kick away, but we see Nellis and also Taylor in the background, and Taylor really objecting to what Nellis was doing, which was nothing, essentially, Bob.
Yeah, I think you summed it up. It was the frustration of letting the ball out the back. It's the last place as a defender you want the footy, is out the back, and Murphy's only chance of getting that footy was to get over the back, and it certainly did that. He did enough, and he's on the board. He's hardly touched the footy today, but all of a sudden, it is game on here. 12 points. And it's really back to an even keel, in my opinion, for both these two sides.
Well, pretty amazing when we thought about that Southport were well in control at half-time, and all of a sudden, Aspley, here they come, just 2 straight kicks away. And Southport just feeling a little bit of that pressure, as evidenced there by Jordan Taylor. Turner got it down. Williams can't take it, but just kicking the up and under. The little one was Lee Dale. O'Shea just hit it out, but ball taken away by Hayden. Right to the forward 50, and that's a good mark there to James Nellis. Haven't seen a lot of him today. Plays on quickly, kicks it low, kicks it hard, and Freeman is there, and there's no push there. No harm, no foul, and 1 point emanates from that. 11 points difference.
Murdoch short to fight. Well, he's fumbled it, so they're in trouble here now, Southport. They're suddenly under a lot of pressure. Bokie tries to break the tackle, didn't get it away. Stackelberg over the top, missed the target. Clark off the right. Well, it's going to be coming right back. Southport look rattled at the moment, Kanga.
Well, they do look a little bit rattled there, and they shouldn't, because they've been well in control for most of the game, and it's only this 10-minute period that's really sort of got them going. Nellis flies high. Spencer, quick little handball over the back. Payne's there, but Lee Dale was there first. Neat little handball from Fife to Bokie. Now to Murdoch, and now to Boston, usually good with a kick, and that's no exception as he finds Stubbs right between the nipples, and he has just impacted with Mentha, and Mentha has hurt his shoulder. That is not a good outcome right there. Stubbs will keep with the play. O'Shea just leapt at it. Got to get my English right. Henderson feeds the ball out, wins a free kick, and they'll bring it back. They won't pay the advantage. And you just sense this game has gone up a couple of notches, Bob.
Yeah, it certainly has, isn't it? They're really here to play now. They realise it's now or never, the Hornets.
Henderson up the line. Well done from Stackelberg. He's made a massive impact in this third quarter. Now he can set it up. Freeman's one out. The numbers will try away. Freeman's got some space. Eats him. Oh, great mark at the back from Williams. He just got position there on Blake Nellis. He did it very nicely. Goes towards the boundary. Miller down the line. O'Shea couldn't take it through the hands. Ford couldn't quite collect it. O'Shea again. Just tries to get it away. Allen. Well, he'll take no prisoners. It's tied up on the boundary. You feel like the Hornets have come with some real intent after half-time. They've come out all guns blazing.
Just interested to see the response here from Ryan Davis, Boston, these sort of players. See what happens in the next few minutes.
Quick kick out of the scrimmage there. It just hit the line, or just inside the line, so that's probably a good result for Aspley there. So right on forward 50, the ball will be thrown in. Plenty of support, plenty of cheering going on for the away side, Aspley, but Southport, they still hold the lead by 11 points. Gross in the ruck now, in front of Turner. Ives is there, just turns around, goes inside on the right foot. Freeman goes very high, couldn't bring it down. Connor Stackelberg just dropped it cold. Play on, says the umpire. Got another player down, injured there. We'll have a look at that one in a moment. Even John O'Freeman's calling there. And might even be his direct opponent, is it? It's Mackenzie Willis who's down there. And he's got plenty of claret coming out of the back of his head there.
He's got a knee in the head there from Freeman on the replay.
And Freeman went very high. And Mackenzie Willis, the recipient of a beautiful knee. Not so beautiful depending on who you're on, but Freeman nearly came down. And we're just talking about Freeman, that he's a confidence player, Bob, and it's amazing that he looks like he's up and about all of a sudden.
Yeah, look, he just needed to break the shackles, didn't he? And I reckon that last few minutes of that second quarter where they threw him into the ruck might have given him a little bit of a kick along, because he all of a sudden started to get a bit nasty around the contest and got his dandruff up a bit. And you can see the way he's played in this third quarter that it's really lifted his game. Let's hope that young Mackenzie Willis, he's coming back from an ACL injury last year at the Suns, and let's hope they can stitch him up and get him out there, because he's been a good player for him today.
So Mackenzie Willis, I'll have to wait until he comes off the ground. Just quickly while we're doing that, the leading possession getters. Jordan Hayden, 17 disposals for the Hornets. Matty Payne's got 15. Connor Stackelberg, 3 goals too, to go with his 14 disposals. And for the Sharks, Ryan Davis has had 14, Matt Shaw 12, and Murdoch, Boston, and Fife have had 11 apiece as Mackenzie Willis clears the area there. So we'll get back underway as Jake Spencer comes in to take this ruck contest. Pivotal moments.
They get a goal here, the Hornets. They can reduce to 5 points. Spencer the space. Aspley, haven't called his name too often. Craven is normally very classy. Got his kick smothered. Williams tries to get out. Jess gets a hand pass away. Mutu. Davis. It's a one-on-one long. That's Johnson. Couldn't quite take the mark. Good spoil at the back from Dawson. Contest coming up. Neither could get it. Davis is tied up immediately there in the middle from Cody Stackelberg. Mutu. Fields. He's a lefty. O'Shea's got back spot. Did well to force the contest. Jack O'Shea, he's got an option wide. That's Mantine. He can't quite reach it. He's in the pocket to put it out to 17. He's just got it. He's got it. It looked across the face from here, but he just snuck it in. And the Sharks send it back to 17 points. 8-4-52 to 5-5, 35-17 gone third quarter.
Oh, look, just wanted to pay tribute there to Dylan Mutu and his efforts across half back and then through the wing, and also Ryan Davis to get that ball forward. We mentioned what's it going to do for the Southport to really get their teeth back into that lead that they had. Well, that's what it is. It's attack on the footy, and it's using that long kicking game to get it down there quickly, and they did with Johnson. Caused a crumb. He jumped hard at the footy. The ball got down to the front, and Mantine out the back after a good kick from Jack O'Shea. So, look, well done, Southport, but Dylan Mutu and Ryan Davis involved in that goal, in my opinion. Yeah,
what about, Henderson had front spot there, couldn't quite take the mark. It was good work there by the Southport player. Might have been forward as Boston gets the clearance inside forward 50. Johnson goes at it with Arnold. Can't quite take it. There's a forward right there. He's held up. And we'll have a ball up some 45 metres out directly in front of goal. 17 points the margin. 18 minutes gone here of the third quarter. Aspley have made a move. Southport still holds sway though. Forward again. He's held up. Ball comes to ground though. Plenty of players around the contest. You can throw a hanky over about, not that I carry hankies around these days, but we throw a hanky over about a dozen or more players. Bob Batty's just produced his. Good timing there, Bob.
Spencer Wins it down, goes to back Fields. He's a long left foot kick, 45 metres out. That's going to carry! Tom Fields has kicked the Sharks second in a row. That's his first of the afternoon. Of course, he's the ex-Carlton South Adelaide product, and he sends it back out to 23 points. 9-4-58 to 5-5-35. Almost 19 minutes gone into this third quarter.
Yeah, well done, Jed Turner. He's really worked hard in that ruck. He's got a mammoth opponent in Big Jake Spencer, but he's really working hard, and he's got the last few hit-outs that pushed the ball forward, and on the end of it there, it was a real good snap from Tom Fields, who's been another great recruit, another local from Labrador initially, the son of Neville Fields. Was a great player back in the old days. And look, he's always been a thumping kick, Tommy Fields, and that was a ripper from a one-step snap.
It's a thumping kick of the football, and off the one step and having to go up, that was a very good conveyance. Giles couldn't handle it. The ball came down. Davis is in there. Templeton, haven't seen much of him in this second half so far, but will be around the contest. Hands and knees is Hall in there, having a stint in the ruck with Jed Turner resting. The umpire finally says, let's start it all again, as Giles will get up with the footy. Move back to the umpire. So Southport have repelled somewhat of the challenge, 23 points. It was 30 points at half-time, but Aspley closed to within 11. Lee Dale gets it out, going Southport's way. True centre-half forward. Arnold's there. Right there with him was Mitch Johnson. Of course, he kicked 2 goals and involved in a very heavy collision. Looked like he might have been in a bit of trouble after that collision, but assessed and came back on and was deemed good to go and came back on and kicked a goal. Spencer, he gives away a free kick as he just nudged Hall out of the way, and like most ruckmen, never happy about it when things go against them, and Josh Hall will be the man who can take the free kick.
So Hall, he'll have it from about 60. You wouldn't think he's got the trip, so he'll probably set it up towards the goal square. It's going to the left. I tell you what, that got a bit of carry. He made that quite comfortably, but out on the full. Smith will take the free kick here for the Hornets. Critical juncture here for Aspley. They can't afford to concede another. Heading into the final turn towards the contest. Goes over the back. Well done from Miller. Miller's about 75 metres out. Goes to Murdoch, who's a booming left foot kick. Sets it inside the forward 50. One-on-one in the goal square. Almost goes over the back. Dawson. Magnificent from Liam Dawson. He outbodied Tom Fields on that occasion. And not for the first time of the day. He has saved a good opportunity for Southport.
Just bodied up really well, didn't he? Just got the job done. Another intercept mark. Direct turnover from Dawson. So Mason is down the line, long down the line. Gross is the target, but with the big spoil there was Miller and Jordan Taylor. With the jumper ripped after a bit of a fracas, a melee earlier on. Go back and take the throw in right on this commentary side wing.
New fashion statement, isn't it? A bit of off the shoulder sort of look there from NEAFL TV. Jordan Taylor, he's been a feisty third quarter. He's got the job on Matty Payne.
Look at it coming to a shop near you. The ball in amongst plenty. Right there is Giles. No great surprise about that. Manteet's in there as well, and Dale just adds to the triple trio. A bit of push me, shove you going on, just to, again, make sure people know that each other's around.
Gross went up, but Hall wins it decisively. Mason breaks one tackle, goes toward the boundary. Stackelberg of a Cody variety, got about 30 metres, got it towards Taylor, but Payne intercepted. Spokey. He's done it quite a lot today, being in the right position at the right time. Now he's got an option in the middle. Instead, he just goes down the line to Davis. Couldn't quite take the mark, but still got onto it beautifully. Gets around his opponent, snaps it. It should just pitch in. It doesn't. Spoiled over into the car park by Dylan Smith. But another opportunity here for Southport. We've played over 23 minutes. If you just joined us in this third quarter, Aspley kicked the first 3 to start the second half, but Southport have steadied since that time.
They certainly have steadied, and it's been their senior players that are starting to get their hand on the footy, and Boston, Davis, I like the work of Lee Dale. Lee Dale around the footy's been very good. Him and John O'Giles. You'd hate to owe those two money.
So they go down. That's Davis. Just quick kick out right near the boundary line. Went across the face, and it was Arnold that got back there and took the nice defensive mark. Had to judge it nicely up in the breeze. He goes down the outer side. He'll go long. Target is Gross and Freeman. Freeman came hard, and then the ground he goes, and that's just laid on the ball. Happy to just have that stalemate and start all over again.
They've taken the sting out again, Kanga, haven't they, Southport? They've answered the challenge, and Hornets, you can just see they're up and about 10 minutes ago, not so bubbly now.
Turner won it down. Cody Stackelberg gets a hand pass forward about 10 metres. Goes over the boundary. So at least Aspley in this second half have given themselves a sniff. They didn't look like scoring a goal for most of the first half.
They've kicked 4 in the third quarter to at least, again, get a little bit of momentum and know that they can do it if they need to. That's a belief. And Southport, they'll just keep chugging away and tying this game up and burrowing in, making sure their experienced campaigners can help guide them along. Turner gets it down, but Gross wins it on the unfamiliar right. A little bit of a finger breaker, that one, but Jono Freeman just clutched it to the chest. Good contested mark here, right on the outer side of the ground. Scoreboard telling us it's 23 points the difference. Goes long. Just all by himself there as the ball dropped a little bit short was Bulch. Goes around. That's not a good conveyance, but it does bounce, gives him an opportunity. Boakey couldn't quite do anything of note. Miller tied up there by Blake Nellis. And Aspley got in their forward half and their forward 50. We'll see what they can do. They need a goal.
They certainly do. Turner and Spencer up against each other. Spencer wins it down that time. Boston, though, gets away from the pack, sends it forward about 50 metres to gain territory. It's just pitched inside the line. So great result for the Sharks.
He's given it deliberate.
Well, it is deliberate. So Aspley have another chance through the Tasmanian in Batchelor. Will set it up. Big pack of players approaching this one in front. Miller. He's done that very nicely, Tom Miller. He's taken the mark last line of defence. Now he goes across the goals. Boston from his defensive goal square. Steadies towards half back. Mentha and Henderson, free kick to Mentha. Henderson was just a little overzealous.
I don't think he can argue Henderson. That was a free kick for mine.
Good to see Mentha back out there. Looked like he hurt his shoulder badly there in the second quarter, and we still haven't seen Mackenzie Willis back, have we?
No.
It'll be interesting to see what they've done with him. Doc McKenzie got the stitches out, I'm sure.
No doubt. Fife on the outer side, just kicks it up to the outer wing. Ryan Davis was his target. Right there with him was Liam Dawson. The ball beats them both out. And I can see Mackenzie Willis down on the bench sporting a lovely helmet. So we're talking about fashion. We're about to cop some more fashion. He's no doubt been stitched up, and helmet keeping everything in place. Payne just hit the ball over the back. Good tackle there by Giles as Bulch gets a quick kick away. Inside forward 50 and finds Connor Stackelberg. And somebody's been probably the most dangerous. You clearly got to point to him at 3 goals 2 so far.
No doubt, he keeps working, doesn't he? Keeps presenting. He's always at you. And young Miller's been pretty good overhead. He's taken 4 or 5 good intercept marks, but at the same time he's allowed this player in to take some easy chest marks.
So possession or disposal number 15, going for goal number 4, and that's a good kick. He likes it. The Aspley faithful like it. And the margin, it pushes back to 17 points here deep into time on. 28 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Yeah, handy goal, wasn't it? A very handy goal there for the Hornets, and he's had a fantastic quarter. Kicked their 1 goal, which was a toe poke in the second quarter. Stackelberg, but he's kicked 3 this quarter, and they've all been monstrous, sort of 35, 40 metres out. and had to kick it high, and each one of them haven't looked like missing. So well done to Connor Stackelberg. He's earned his paycheck this week, and he's been a breakout season for the Hornets across half forward this year.
Certainly has been. And Aspley in this third quarter, they've really improved their ball use, going inside 50. At this stage, they've won the quarter 5, won the 3 straight. They'd love another before 3-quarter time back in the middle. Bounce favours Spencer. He just got a tap on it. Giles tapped it further forward, but it's going to go straight to the Sharks. It's going to be Michael Mantete inside the forward 50. Where's Hall? Couldn't quite get there at the back. No mark taken. Bottom of the pack. Almost a hand pass out. O'Shea couldn't get it. There's a free kick. It's a throw, and it's gone against Aspley. I'd love to see that on the replay.
I think we will.
And the free kick will go to Tom Fields, and you think for a player of his calibre, he'll kick it very nicely. As we have a look, Luke and Mason, yeah, that's a free kick. Good call from the umpire.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as clear cut for me.
Very
well, I'm sure we'll have another look at it after this kick, perhaps.
What we do know is the bloke with the footy is a prodigious kick of the football. It's just the accuracy from here, and you could just about back him in, I reckon, Tom Fields, in this situation.
So Fields for 2 in the quarter, 35 metres out, and the umpire did not move at all. There's the quick reply for the Sharks, and that has come in the late stages of this third quarter. We've played almost 30 minutes. It's Tom Fields' second for this third quarter. Extends it back to 23 points, 10-4 to 6-5. Just have a look at the shot.
It's good. He's a good conveyor of the football, isn't he, Bob?
Beautiful kick.
Yeah, he is.
His old man was a beautiful kick too, Neville Fields. On the run, he could pinpoint a 60-metre pass every time. A beautiful kick.
Rice smiled down back with Jackson Allen. Probably giving Tom Field a little bit of advice that he was lucky to get that free kick, perhaps. But nonetheless, scoreboard says 23 points of difference. 30 and a half minutes gone of this third quarter. Spencer and Turner do battle again. No real clear winner of that one. Ball still in the centre circle. Templeton got a quick one down to Ives. Quick kick up forward there. Murdoch does well, reads it well, but Aspley, that's a lovely smother, and he gets back on it quickly. On his right foot, which is the unfamiliar one, over the back, it stays in. No, it just dribbles out of bounds, right beside the behind post. And this is where Aspley will be hoping to just claw another one back before 3-quarter time.
They certainly would. Back at the contest. Big minute or so coming up for the Hornets. Turner wins it over the back. It's going to shoot towards the back of the contest from Giles. Couldn't quite pick it up. Fife feeds it away to Shaw, to Mackenzie Willis in the Stephen Larkham-style headgear. Big spoil from the contest. Falls to Ives. Well, he spent it before he got it, it must be said. That's in the field of play. It's a free kick. It's going to go the way of Tommy Bolch. They'll set it up towards the pack of players. Nellis at the back, couldn't quite take it, comes off hands. Willis couldn't pick it up. Still bouncing thereabouts. Ives sets it with a dribbling sort of a ball. Boakey, well, he almost hand passed it to himself, then tries to break one tackle, just gets out of the second. It's bouncing around between 10. Still going there. Boakey once again. Now it comes out. That's a snap towards goal from Aspley. It's going to sit up. Nellis, Gross, take your pick. Couldn't quite take it. Falls short. Well done from Murdoch. And finds his teammate there in Mutu. Mutu clears the defensive 50 towards the middle.
He goes out attacking. The ball is meant to, but Jackson Allen, he took there first and thrown to the ground. The race is on there. Arnold. Hall fell over his own feet pretty much, and the ball tied up under Arnold. And I think Aspley can almost count themselves lucky there because the fast break was right on.
Yeah, no one a good footy though. Both teams, they got 2 players limping badly after that though, Josh Hall and Tom Fields. They might have crashed legs there, but as Hall comes off, but wasn't a good footy.
Mantete, quick handball there to Mutu. He's dispossessed quickly. Jasper Craven, quick kick, half forward it is. Stackelberg got it to Nellis. That's James Nellis, gets it over the back and just mopping up nicely. Kwabi Boakey does it well. The boy that was born in Ghana, grew up in Rockhampton, gets it out to Matt Shaw. He just eludes one nicely. In the middle of Fankhauser he goes. Finds Lee Dale. Dale has Fife. He had Fife laterally, but coming down there was Boston. just spots a target down inside forward 50, and it's Trent Stubbs.
Yeah, on a very acute angle down there, but he's a sort of mercurial goal kicker that could probably just kick this one. It's going to be a tough kick for him, but he is a goal kicker. Triple best and fairest, I think, for the Hills Eagles. Up there, he's been a rookie at Collingwood in his younger days. He really showed a Spring Heel Jack, they'd called him. He was a really good jump at the footy. Let's see what he can do here. Massive kick.
Tight angle to work with. Comes in, kicks it from 40 right on the boundary. That's close. That is a ripping goal right there. Very close to three-quarter time. A telling blow for Southport. Pushes the margin back out to 29 points. What a wonderful shot at goal, Bob.
It was a ripper, wasn't it? Like, you would have 36 players on the ground here that had that shot at goal, and there'd be 35 that would miss, I'd say. That was a beautiful kick. And, yeah, for a right footer on his wrong side, had a small margin of error, and he managed to split the middle. So goal umpire hardly moved, right over his head.
Just want to pay a little bit of due attention to Kwabi Boki in the back half of the ground too. Fantastic poise, very confident in what he's doing, and those players around him, we talk about the Ryan Clarks and Murdochs and these types, they just obviously help him grow, the Seb Tapes.
So back in the middle, Spencer almost got it. Murphy's been inserted into this contest against Fife. Sort of hard kick forward's been turned over. Boston inside the forward 50. This could be a big bloke. Almost a mark at the back. None taken. Craven gets it away. He's going to try find Bolch. Fife will be in pursuit. Bolch has got a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Fein to Craven. Sets himself up very nicely in the middle of Spencer. Now Spencer can give and go. He does in towards the middle of the ground. Tries to find Hayden. His hand pass was poor. Spencer. They're just trying to work it. Boki, the man you mentioned later, great tackle. Williams towards the wing. Fife has to sit under it, couldn't take it. Goes over the back. Manteet, he's got an option wide in Shaw. There are players everywhere in Southport's forward 50. One of them is Jack O'Shea. And he can have the shot from about 45 if he wants to. And Johnson is screaming for it in the goal square. He's taken on the responsibility, Jack O'Shea. He's a mercurial user of the football. He's going to feel pretty confident from here.
Great movement of the footy, wasn't it, from Southport under pressure. They really mopped up down back. And again, it was Kwabi Boki, that man you mentioned, Kanga. He just seems to have a lot more space and time than some of his opposition.
Didn't start playing football till he was 15 years of age, Bob. Amazing.
So O'Shea, 45 metres out, sets it on its way. The umpire has not moved a muscle. And for all of the Hornets' hard work at the start of the quarter, they find themselves further down than they were at half-time. 12-4-76 to 6-5-41. The magnificence of Southport has really come out in the last 15 minutes.
Well, it's 5 goals each, isn't it? And we've pushed up Aspley, and that they've all of a sudden rope-a-doped and come off the ropes and started swinging. But the great champion team they are, Southport, they've been able to absorb that punishment and then kick back themselves, and it's been their senior players that have really linked in, plus some youngsters, like we mentioned, young Boki. And good finish there from Jack O'Shea, a late inclusion today, and he's been well worth his spot.
So the margin out to 35 points. Must be very close to three-quarter time. Turner got it down. In fact, it was very, very close to three-quarter time there. So at the final change, it is the home side, the Southport Sharks, who will take a 35-point lead into the final quarter. The margin got down to as low as 11 points at one stage. It started at 30 points at half-time. It got very, very willing around the contest there for a while. Aspley really challenged. But Southport, they've had all the answers. And before I get the thoughts of Bob Batty, we'll just do some quick leading possession getters on the ground. Ryan Davis has got 18 disposals, 4 tackles, 3 clearances, 5 inside 50s and a goal. Andrew Boston's had 16, 5 clearances. Matt Shaw's also had 15 disposals, 2 inside 50s. Murdoch has been excellent. And Manteet, I thought, really came into the game as well in that quarter. They both got 14. And for Aspley, I should say, Jordan Hayden, he's had 18 disposals, 5 clearances, 5 inside 50s. Matty Payne's had 16 disposals, 4 clearances. And Connor Stackelberg, 15 disposals, 5 marks 4 inside 50s, 4 goals too, if you don't mind. He's been a great contributor for Aspley. How did you see it, Bob?
Yeah, look, Aspley had to show something, didn't they? They certainly did that at the start of that third quarter. They were out to play. They all of a sudden had a bit of bubble, enthusiasm about their play. They were playing for each other, really moved the ball quickly. They did a lot of kamikaze kicks forward, which probably unsettled the Southport defence a bit. I remember young Jordan Taylor getting frustrated when the ball got over the back and things like that. They just lost their little bit of poise there for a moment, Southport, but they managed to steady. And it was their senior players, Matt Shaw, you mentioned Manteet, kicked a goal, it was important. Boston started to get his hand on the footy. Davis has been good. Murdoch's been fantastic. And Kwabi Bokai, give him a real rap. He's been very solid over the 3 quarters. And for Aspley, well, none better than Connor Stackelberg that quarter. He was brilliant. He really got them back into the contest. He's really worked well. Liam Dawson's tried hard. You've had players that Jasper Craven, I thought his third quarter was very good. And James Ives started getting involved in the play. But look, big task away from their home ground, Aspley. 6 goals down, 3-quarter time. Going to be hard to get back in against this tough quality side in Southport.
Well, we might take our breath for the last time before we get to the conclusion of the match. Players are getting their messages. Daniel Webster, he'll be working hard, talking to his players. And Steve Daniel for Southport, he'll be just trying to engineer the result of the way of Southport. The winner goes through to the grand final, and they'll face the winner of tomorrow's game out at Brendale, the South Pine Sports Complex, which is between the Brisbane Lions, the undefeated Brisbane Lions, and the Sydney Swans. Make sure you tune in to NEAFL TV for that one. But we'll be back with the last quarter of this game, and it is Southport. They lead by 35 points. Welcome back to Fankhauser Reserve. It's 3-quarter time here. 35 points is the margin in favour of the home side. Southport, the winner to go through to next week's grand final. And they'll play the winner of tomorrow's game between the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans. Well, after tomorrow's game, they'll confirm a venue Oh, we believe it will be hosted at the winner of this match at their ground, and but time and date will be confirmed as we get underway. Templeton emerges with it. Long left foot. Aspley really need to get on their skates here. Connor Stackelberg does well yet again. Dangerous spot. Gross. Clark with the spoil. Tate. Indiscriminate handball. Crucial ball there. Lee Dale just gets it out. Jack O'Shea. He'll just bunt it out of defence, and Southport might be away here.
They might be away. They might be able to win the game off of this. Davis takes a bounce. He takes a second. He's got Stubbs in 40 metres of space over the top, and Hall has trickled towards the square. Instead, he goes inboard. Good kick. And Ryan Davis, Bob Batty calling the Rolls Royce a couple of weeks ago. He can line up from 50.
Yeah, and he's rolled out of the garage again today, hasn't he? He's certainly on all four cylinders. He's been probably the most important player all day. And when they were under the pump in the third quarter, he was still there getting his footy. So, quality player. He was the one that got the ball out in the wing, and now he's going to have the shot at goal. No, he's not.
So he goes over the top, Mutu. That was just a bit lax from Aspley. And this is going to make the task incredibly difficult.
Well, when you got your season on the line, you would think that your defence would set itself properly and not just have a player like Dylan Mutu sitting over the top and just putting the ball another 20 metres further towards goals, making it an easier shot.
So Mutu will come in. Hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. He's had the 12 touches, sets it on its way. It's going to the right, it hits the post. So a let-off for Aspley. They've got a massive task ahead of them in this final term. It's straight goals the margin. Almost 2 minutes gone final term. Looks like they'll go down the middle.
Jackson Allen it is. They're going to do this all quarter, one would suspect. Try and attack the corridor. Giles gets it up. Craven. Manteet just goes the other way off the deck. Davis probably should have gone himself last time and goes across to O'Shea. Handball, that's a throw every day of the week for me. Umpire agrees. And Aspley, they can take it away. Now it's with Bulch. Not sure where to go. Has the run of Payne there. Just gets the run of it now. Left-hand handball finds a big man in Spencer. He just lobs it over the back. Stackelberg's there. Can't take it down at ground level. The two Stackelberg boys are there, so we'll see what they can do to combine. And Miller's there at ground level. Plenty of players around the contest. What's the umpire going to do here? And that is holding the ball. So they just dragged it in. And this is an opportunity for Aspley. And getting up with it will be Cody Stackelberg, the younger of the two.
Yeah, Stackelberg the younger, as he was called by Michael Price last week, but he's been a bit quiet today, Cody. Lions Academy Junior played a little bit of footy out at Sandgate. Here he comes in now.
And that's, my silence, I suppose, was a little bit deafening from an Aspley point of view, as it was one behind as he tugged it to the right. Margin 35 points. Miller with the ball. Got it from the restart of Murdoch, who's wanting the ball back, but and in fact will get it back now. Has a player wider in Clark. He decides to go up the corridor to Jordan Taylor. He's had his jumper replaced at three-quarter time, so the off-the-shoulder numbers gone from the rip earlier on. Goes long. Johnson's a target. Dawson! Just had his name written all over that and jumped over the smaller man.
Dawson will go inside 50. The kick wasn't as good as the mark. It's been cut off to Reece Clark. He's had a good day. Now he can switch the play towards the half-back. He'll find Stubbs. Where does Trent Stubbs want to go? He's got open space ahead. He's got Dale presenting. He'll go there now. It's a good kick. They've actually worked out the +1 over the top because it's going to go to Mutu. It's going to hit the target. It's just gone out on the full, so Aspley once again can breathe a sigh of relief because the Sharks were away.
Don't they hate that Kanga like Mitch Johnson? He loves jumping on blokes' heads, but when it comes the other way around, Dawson jumping on his, he hates it.
Yeah, that's right. Kick came in from Aspley and it was intercepted there by Jordan Taylor. A short kick from Manteet finds Shaw. And the blonde locks is flowing as he kicks it forward. Not sure where he's going there because three Hornets converge on it. Heads up back at Dawson, little chipping ball, looking for Craven. Didn't quite find him, and right at the interchange, Gates just rolls over the line, and a little bit of frustration. I suppose that they just haven't been able to get themselves close enough and do enough of the right things to really...
Yeah, they just messed that up then, didn't they? Really, let's face it. They had 3 players there. They had possession of the ball and they messed it up.
Spencer wins it over the back to Payne, who's about to be tackled, breaks it, gets it away, finds Batchelor, very quiet this afternoon, sends it forward, Boki in the right spot, big fly, no mark taken at the back, but it's going to come out. Templeton steps inside, he's got Hayden inboard, instead he goes to the one-on-one, Murphy couldn't quite get it, fantastic defensive work from Southport, and it was Seb Tape who just got there right at the perfect moment and thwarted a Hornets attack.
Hasn't had a lot of the footy today, Seb Tape, but again, he's formed part of a pretty formidable defensive line. Andrew Boston gets it off Murdoch. Of course, the skipper who held the cup aloft some nearly 12 months ago here. Turner couldn't bring it down. Davis to Fife. Quick little handball. Davis just had his kick impeded, but got far enough. O'Shea has his handball intercepted by Templeton, but in turn he was knocked off there by Josh Williams. Now to Fife. Now we've got some open space for Southport. Mitch Johnson it is as players flood back for Aspley. One-on-one contest. Hall has the jump at it and takes the nice mark. He's suffering a little bit with an ankle injury. Had his ankle retaped in the third quarter, but he's just taken some nice marks at the right times and being probably the best forward target that's been on the ground so far. Yeah,
look, certainly Southport's best forward, hasn't he? He's kicked 3. Chance to kick his 4th here. Stackelberg's probably on a par with him for Aspley, but no, he's been consistent over the 4 quarters, Josh Hall.
So Josh Hall comes in, 9 games with the Gold Coast Suns and just puts that across the face, so 3 goals will stay his. Best high jump growing up there to win the world bronze in the World Youth Championships, 2 metres 26 if you don't mind. Fair leap, no wonder he's leaping up and catching some good ones as Payne and Craven combine.
Craven, now he's got an option wide, that is Blake Nellis. He's got to try run onto it, he's got Murdoch for company. Wheels around onto his left, he's got the option inside to the youngest player on the ground in Aspley, and he gets the cruel bounce. Sort of been his day. Boston couldn't quite get it. Aspley should be able to come in. Nellis finds Mason, plays on, goes short, good kick. Goes on to Giles, Giles to Murphy, has to kick it for Aspley, bends it and he's missed. I don't know why Jono Giles played on. It must be said, but only a minor for Aspley.
Yeah, costly miss, but yeah, look, I think they're just about done and dusted. I think 35, 36 points when it's hot, dusty. Your season's on the line. It's going to be more than enough lead, I would have thought, Southport's at the moment.
So Shea has it punched away from him. Cody Stackelberg just loses the grip on it. Tape, Bokai, looking for Jordan Taylor back there. Turnover, Bulch, Giles, just off the ground this time. See ball, kick ball, get goal. It's not a hard game sometimes, is it? And I said that about Jono Giles last week. I think he thought too hard about giving the ball off last time instead of just getting it, doing it. And he did it.
Summed it up beautifully there, Kanga. I think it is a simple game. Get ball, see ball, kick a goal. But no, well done to Jono Giles. Look, hasn't he had a great match-up with Lee Dale, and for most of this game, like I know, he certainly had his hands full with Boston there earlier, but Jono Giles is, since half-time, him and Lee Dale have just about gone head-to-head, and it's been a great contest. Both of them have contributed well for their team.
They certainly have. So Aspley get the first of the final quarter, but they need to get a wriggle on. 5 goals to win it. We've played about 9.5 into this final term. Is back in the middle. He's going Gavin Gross going in the ruck against Turner. He played the rover role. Turner won it down easily. Boston pursues. He was pursued by Payne, but still fit a hand pass. It missed Williams. Here's a chance. Payne over the top. He found the handball beautifully. Further handball. Aspley, the youngest on the ground, 45 metres out. Shows fades off ice. And Taj Aspley has given the Hornets a sniff. 2 goals in a minute for Aspley. 22 points, they find themselves down 12-6, 78 to 8-8, 56. Magnificent work from Aspley.
Yeah, John O'Giles again, Kanga's just pointed out to him on the action replay there. Beautiful handball. They got the ball out of the middle. And a nice finish from Taj Aspley. Look, not one of his better games, but certainly it's going to be a great education and development for that young fella, 17 years of age. Still going to high school, year 12. He'll learn a lot from this, and certainly we look to see him playing for the Allies next year, and Queen, certainly Lions Academy before that.
I think he's got a bit about him, Taj Aspley. Go again, so the margin of 22. Spencer over the top of Turner, but Turner goes hard again there. Get involved there is Ryan Davis, and then he just follows up with a tackle, but it was high on Henderson. So Aspley, just a little bit of momentum starting to go their way. This is where they need to seize the moments. Goes long, the target. Pushing back there was Turner. Murphy just tried to slap it forward as far as he could. Mackenzie Willis, he got it as far, but Southport emerged with it. They go long. That was Clark down deep, and right there is Stubbs. So every time Aspley have challenged, Southport have been able to find the reply, and Stubbs has kicked basically a brilliant goal from the boundary line in the third quarter. Now this is a lot more elementary, this shot, Bob.
Yeah, more elementary. You'd say that with his technique, it shouldn't give him too many concerns. He should go back and slot it, but you never know. Pressure the scoreboard. Aspley coming at them. Who's to know?
So Trent Stubbs got one for the afternoon. Comes in and slots it through neatly. And the umpire a little bit to do. Margin back to 28 points, sorry. Riley's just reminded me here that's 3 for Trent Stubbs. I've only credited him with 2. He deserves 3. As we see him just slot that one home. And after 12 and a quarter minutes in this last quarter, margin 28.
They've had the answers, haven't they? When Aspley have had a little bit of a run on, start of the third quarter, Southport responded. This time it was Mackenzie Willis down the back half there that really worked hard in getting the ball out and got it moving. And Reece Clark, he's been a very good player today for him in defence. Took some great marks against John O'Freeman early, and that was a beautiful long kick, and Stubbs did the rest with a nice shot from goal.
So do Aspley have one last punch to throw in this fight? It's been an engrossing one. Spencer wins it down to Payne. Missed the target with the hand pass. Boston to Dale. Payne gets it again. Gets it away to Ives. Now Ives has got about 10 metres of space. Takes a bounce. Sets it towards the forward 50. Inside out, sort of a torp. Falls down to Bulch. Bulch sends it in. Fortuitous kick. Aspley. Freeman must kick it. Left foot. It's going to dribble, and he had more time than he thought, I reckon. He's just summed that up. Not the best that he would have liked, and a crucial point.
Aspley probably should have held on to that and gone back and had a shot for mine.
Yeah, look, he's. I suppose he sees the forward target that needs a lift in confidence, give him the opportunity to kick it. But yeah, wasn't a great kick from the big fella in John O'Freeman.
Mackenzie Willis, and that's a lovely mark there, a packed mark to Ryan Davis against a much bigger Spencer. They're like all good ruckmen, just absolutely filthy where the ball didn't come to ground. Dylan Fife got the short pass, and now he goes long down the line, right in front of us here in the commentary position. Dawson has front spot, well done there, but Fields brings it to ground. Aspley's handball might be a bit rattled there. He gets another go at it and gets it off to Cody Stackelberg, who just launches it inside 50. Brother couldn't quite take it on that occasion. The ball just comes out, and Ryan Davis, Ives just jumped like he was going to impact the contest, and Davis fell for it. Bulch will get off to Connor Stackelberg. Inside forward 50. Blake Nellis, good smother there. Very good smother by Tate. And Reece Clark, he'll try and clear the ball for Southport.
He does. Dawson, there's a whistle. It's a free kick. It's going to go the way of Dawson. Now, they've got to throw down the gauntlet here, Aspley. Everything's got to go right to steal this one inside the forward 50. Crows the fly, almost a fly from Freeman. Couldn't take it. Forward bottom of the pack goes to Fife. He's got Boston over the top with the hands. That's where he goes. Boston, clean as always, down the line, the Turner. Jed Turner will be content to hold it up. Southport won't go into game preservation mode, but they might just start trying to slow the tempo down. To Arnold and Johnson. Arnold pushed out his opponent. Well done from Smith. Craven back to Allen. Allen down the line about 40 metres. Has to hit the target. Bolch, he did well to keep his feet against Boston. Gets it eventually from Spencer, and Boston goes right back. El Mucho, the Mexican wrestler, threw him like one on that occasion. It'll be a stoppage about 80 metres out from Aspley's attacking goal.
Try to get him down on the back and pin him. The umpire might have gone there 1, 2, 3 on him. Trying to count him out. Spencer gets the ball down, did it nicely to Payne. Clearance from MVP 3. Looking down the barrel of an early finish again in season 2019, like 18 happened right here. Mackenzie Willis inside his defensive 50, gets it to Matt Shaw. Little handball, finds Tape. And on the dive, handballs it off to Mackenzie Willis again. Copped a knock to the head, that's why he's got the helmet on today, and that's a nice pass, finds Josh Hall. Hall, little chipping ball, he has one free. Might be Stubbs again, I think, on that outer side. And Stubbs, the way he nailed one in the third quarter, he'll go back and shoot for Fort. No, he's happy just to work through back to Hall. Ran off his mark, so play on was a call, so he lobs it up. O'Shea jumped high, couldn't bring it down. Aspley will bring it out. Dawson under pressure. Blake Nellis gets it off, quick handball. Giles and Arnold combine, and a little pass only goes as far as Reece Clark, and that is just frustration from Jono Freeman. Forlorn look on his face, and 50. And Reece Clark is a big kick of the footy, but he doesn't need to extend himself to put it through from here.
Yeah, been a resolute defender, hasn't he? And this will put the icing on the cake for Reece Clark, the boy from Kai Abram. Been some great players up there through the Bendigo League, and he's been a great recruit for Southport Sharks.
So Reece Clark, 35 metres, wheels around on the left, and like all good defenders, can spray a ball in front of the goals. And he's been very serviceable down back, but you put him up in front of a goal and all of a sudden targets get missed. It's amazing the way it happened. Spoken like the defender I was, mind you.
So Allen goes straight down the middle. They've got to try everything here. The Hornets going to drop short to Clark. Freeman, he's just found himself out of position a few times today. Clark goes inside the forward 50. Johnson's on his own by 10 metres. Well, I don't know how that happened, but Mitch Johnson just found some space and he's taken a mark uncontested. And this kick, if he kicks it, will put the Sharks into their second straight grand final.
Yeah, it was a better kick, wasn't it, from a defender that time, Kanga, from Reece Clark. He didn't have the shot at goal. He kicked it beautifully into space. And Mitch Johnson, he just knows where the goals are. This will be number 3 for the former Berwick and Northern Blues player.
So Johnson, one stage we thought he was out of the game after copping a nasty hit in the head to put the Sharks into the 2019 grand final. It's across the face. It fades. So Aspley still 5 goals to win it. But we're ticking closer to time on into this final term of this first preliminary final.
It's far from impossible. It's a lovely pass from Jackson Allen. Finds Billy Murphy. Little chipping ball, finds Payne. Not sure where to go, so goes out wide. Just tried to fool the defender and draw a 50. Gavin Gross has the run of the ball, but that's just going to stay in just. Matt Shaw does well and just pushes Gross off the ball, so Southport can go again. Fife off to Mentha. Thought he was in a bit of trouble with the shoulder at one stage. Might have had a little jab. Fife. Oh, it went through the hands of Shaw, but he gets in there again. Little ball. Punched away by Arnold from Aspley. Hayden and Batchelor. Batchelor was offloaded as he handballed. And he's a bit hurt too. Boston. And we have a holding the ball decision. And it's going the way of Southport. It's going the way of Josh Hall and Batchelor. He's not travelling real well, Brandon Batchelor, the boy from Kingborough from Tassie. He might have a shoulder, I think.
It's a big hit from Josh Hall, wasn't it? We said he's an athlete, but he's a big, tall athlete, and he's got a bit of power behind him, and he come full pelt there at young Brandon Batchelor, and he's come off second best there. He's second year at Aspley from the Kingborough Tigers. Been a good, consistent player for him. Hadn't had a great day today, and this will probably make it even more sour for the young fella.
Yeah, well, Josh Hall, we talked about his high jumping ability, but he also had a stint in the NRL with Penrith, and he played 20 games in the New South Wales Rugby League with the Penrith Panthers, and I think he really put the acid on from a tackle. It was more akin to a rugby league type bit of work, if you like. And Josh Hall, the recipient of the free kick. He's going to try and launch this one, and we saw him earlier on. He launched one from about 60 metres, made the distance up the other end of the ground. We're going to see what he can do to really try and rip one in. Looking for goal number 3. Across the face, that one. And Dawson, he's gone down as well. He hit the ground pretty hard, that marking contest. And the ball hit the behind post, so it's going to be thrown up, but Dawson very groggy, slowly getting to his feet.
Aspley physios have been pretty busy in the last minute or so. It's been a magnificent performance so far from Southport. Brutal performance. They've been so hard at the contest. Unless something dramatic changes late. Into a second straight grand final. Gross won it down to Payne, who went to Davis, and that is just unlucky.
Well, it sums up the day, doesn't it, Bob? And it's, footy's a game of moments, and Southport have had more moments, and Matty Payne just didn't quite kick that one well, but fortuitously fell into Ryan Davis's arms.
Yeah, look, he's been kicking on his left side a lot today, so I don't know whether he's got a problem with that right toe or right foot or something, but certainly he didn't connect properly with the right foot then. And Ryan Davis, can he go back and slot this one and seal a victory?
So we got one for the afternoon. From 51, sets it on its way. It's bending back. It's hit the upright. One behind to Southport. Extends it to 5 straight goals. 13-9 to 8-9. 22 gone, final turn.
A little piercing ball finds Hayden over the head of Gross. Back there and just stealing it nicely with Josh Williams. In the path of 5, little quick handball to Davis. They've got numbers here. Mutu. Oh, he had too much time to think about it. Then has to kick it off one step. And then Hall, easy as you like. The tall defenders were bereft of really making sure they were present and trying to put any sort of physical presence around Josh Hall there, Bob.
Yeah, well, look, they've moved Gavin Gross down forward. They've got all their tall players down the other end trying to take a few catches, so they're going to be caught a little bit short down the defence area.
3 goals, 1, and make that 3 goals, 2 for Josh Hall. So Southport, they've missed some really gettable shots here in this last quarter to really put this game on ice. It's 1 goal, 6 now in this last quarter. 31 points the lead. And we've played 23 and a half minutes.
Whistle. It's going to go back into the goal square from Jackson Allen. So they're all set up down the middle here, Aspley. Goes short. Finds the target. Getting away, Henderson will send it. A tumbling ball, but it's going to work out well enough. Connor Stackelberg now. Freeman is one out inside the forward 50. That's where it goes. It should work to the back. Freeman's got it, kicks it, goals it. So Jono Freeman has kicked a goal. And that is number 2 for the afternoon. 2-2 for the big man. Brings it back to 25 points. You just get the feeling that time will beat them if they get on a run. 25 points the margin. 13-10 to 9-9.
Yeah, too little too late, I think, from the big fella there, Jono Freeman. He's had a disappointing day. One that he won't like to recollect too often, and certainly his opponent Reece Clark will be taking the honours in that battle. He's been a quality defender all day now. Let's see what Southport does here. They've had 4 or 5 shots at goal. They probably should have sealed the game. Now this is their last chance, Aspley. Let's see what Southport do to respond.
And Jono Freeman, he wasn't happy even after he kicked the goal, suggesting the umpire should have given him a free kick for holding the man anyway. So threw the arms up. Aspley. Tap down, it was Gross in the ruck. And that's Manteet and also Blake Nellis there. And the latter is awarded the free kick. So Aspley hasn't had a lot of it. Just comes off his line and then just launches it long inside forward 50. Freeman was there, but Clark was there again. Josh Williams, and that's in the back, so that'll be a free kick. That'll make Jono Freeman just a little bit happier. And in fact, he gets up thinking he won the free kick. So, no doubt, a little bit of angst going on inside the head of Jono Freeman there, as Brody Murdoch has the ball.
Murdoch short to Taylor. Good mark, Taylor. Goes onto the left, sets it down the line, really towards grass. Now, Aspley have the numbers at the contest. It should fall to him. It does eventually. Hand pass over the top from Dawson. Finds Arnold. Smith certainly hasn't been disgraced this afternoon, but goes to a 1-on-3. There's a free kick. It is a hold. It's going Aspley's way. Andrew Boston. Nellis. Payne over the top. Ives. They're handballing it here at the moment when they need a kick it. Stackelberg to Murphy. Now he's going to be pursued by Mackenzie Willis. Does well, Murphy. Has to kick it to keep him alive. He's missed a couple in this final turn, Billy Murphy. And like a lot of today, when they've had key opportunities that were pretty elementary, they just haven't been able to take them, Aspley.
Yeah, Mackenzie Willis, good effort there to just get a fingernail on the back of Murphy when he's having his shot at goal. They might have just put him off, but been a good player today, Mackenzie Willis. Got that bad knock, got the helmet on, but he's running. I'd back him to play a pretty good game in the next final that they play too. Starting to get some confidence.
14 disposals, 4 rebound 50s for Mackenzie Willis. Mutu does well, has front spot there. Manteet, he's there in support. Gets a quick kick away out near the, it takes an awkward bounce, so it stays in. And then Blake Nellis, who was forced to take possession of the ball, just ran straight into Trent Stubbs and was going nowhere. So things just aren't going right for Aspley. They've won this last quarter, but nowhere near enough because the damage was done, particularly in that second quarter where 5-1 put the writing on the wall. Turner, Davis just wriggles out of a contest and gets a quick kick away, but only found Liam Dawson.
Now Dawson goes with the torp. That is gone 65 metres into the middle. It's a good kick as well. Stackelberg couldn't take it. Taylor did brilliantly. Boakey ditto. Mackenzie Willis. All big names this afternoon. Sends it long. Good kick. A good mark. That is Ryan Davis. All courage. The ex-West Coast Eagle and Gold Coast Sun will be able to put the icing, if he kicks truly here, on a very nice cake for Southport. Instead he goes wide. Sets it out. Now that's going to be a shot from the boundary. There's the siren for the second year in a row. That's a goal from the boundary.
Michael Manteet. Which
was from Michael Manteet, who's been so clean all afternoon. But for the second year in a row, the Sharks are into the NEAFL Grand Final. Final score 14-10-94 to 9-4-64. Aspley tried their hearts out, but Southport just showed how good they were this afternoon.
Well, what a performance. They've certainly done it. We hear the truck horn in the background. Not sure where that one's come from, but it is trumpeting the fact that Southport are into the NEAFL Grand Final for 2019, and very sombre moment for Aspley as well. They've been very gallant in season 2019 under a new coaching structure headed by Daniel Webster, but not to be. I think they just couldn't quite get themselves up after last week, and the big spaces of Fankhauser Reserve here just didn't quite lend itself to Aspley's game. They toiled hard early, but were blown out in that second quarter, 5-1. And from there, despite Aspley's best efforts, and they challenged at various stages, getting back to 11 points in the third quarter, that they just couldn't quite bridge the margin enough to really put the asset on Southport, who come away victorious. Bob, it was a very good workmanlike performance by Southport, and they just found a way to get the job done.
They certainly did, yeah. And look, they're well coached. They've got a fantastic coaching regimen with Stevie Daniel, Matty Primus and Matty Lappin, and look, they've deserved to get into their second grand final in a row. They finished bottom of the ladder, won the flag last year, and now they're going to be in another grand final in NEAFL TV. So what a fantastic performance from them. They had some great players all day, none better than the Rolls Royce. He's just a superstar. Once it comes to September footy, there's none better than Ryan Davis. He was brilliant again today over the 4 quarters. I liked the game of Matt Shaw on the wing. He was very good, clean, and as a winner all day. I like Bokai down back, Jed Turner in the ruck, Reece Clark down back, and Lee Dale worked really hard. And they had probably 7 or 8 others, Josh Hall included, that were really good throughout the day as well. So they had more contributors for Aspley. Liam Dawson was their best. Connor Stackelberg was good. Matty Payne tried hard. Giles tried hard. Arnold tried hard, and Spencer tried very hard. But they found wanting today, the better team all day, and victors by 5 goals, Southport Sharks.
Yeah, well, one of the really interesting statistics I want to bring to you, gentlemen, just for discussion is hit-outs went the way of Southport only by 3, so Jed Turner did a terrific job, but clearances actually went Aspley's way. They were plus 10. And inside 50s ended up going Aspley's way as well, plus 5. So outside of Connor Stackelberg, who kicked 4 goals for Aspley, they just had no forward. They didn't have a structure up there that was going to get the job done, and which is a feather in the cap of Clark and Murdoch and Tate back there, amongst others, and they had lots of contributors.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I think in terms of clearances this afternoon for Aspley, they didn't get a lot of clean ball out of there, whereas Southport, their clearances were very effective. They got into the hands of the likes of Michael Manteet, Ryan Davis, who were 2 of their best ball users. Matt Shaw as well, when he had ball in hand, he was very good. They were just, for a lot of the afternoon, just the cleanest. I don't know what you think about that, Bob, but just at key moments, they took their opportunities, whereas Aspley, they just missed them at real massive opportunities, even when they were coming in that 3rd quarter. Yeah,
they're much cleaner, you were right. They kicked the ball better. Their players, look, we mentioned Stubbs and Fields, when they need to kick goals, they did. Whereas Aspley, when they had their chances, John O'Freeman, Billy Murphy, those guys, they missed shots that they probably normally would have kicked. So they were definitely the better side all day, Southport Sharks. Thoroughly deserved their win. And for Aspley Hornets, as you mentioned, first-year coach Daniel Webster, he'd be proud of his charges. They really had a good season from 2 and 5, I think they were, after 7 games. So to get into a preliminary final is a gutsy effort, and they've got plenty of young talent to work with.
Well, the grand final next week, we know that Southport are obviously there. Tomorrow's game is the Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans out at South Pine Sporting Complex at Brendale. The winner obviously progresses to play Southport. We can say that the grand final will be here at Fankhauser Reserve next week. It's just a matter of who the opponent is. That time and date, or day, if you like, will be confirmed after tomorrow's game. So we are set up, I think, for a wonderful grand final, but this game tomorrow is going to be a ripper. Sydney have got better every time they have played Brisbane. But Brisbane, they come in with 23 listed players, if you don't mind, tomorrow, that named. Michael Price and I will be out there to call that action tomorrow, and we'll look forward to that. But I think we won't go through the stats because there's plenty of good players out there, but I think we need to sign off for the afternoon. So on behalf of Bob Batty, Riley Staraj and myself, Mark Kennedy, thanks for joining us this afternoon. It was Southport who get along to the grand final, and they were victors this afternoon by 30 points. Thanks for joining us.